tonight at 10 to watch their full report with Daniela Rivera. Reporting live, Amy Kobabe, KSL News Radio.
Thanks, Amy. Our top national story this hour. Hunter Biden has reached a plea deal with the Justice Department. He has pled guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax charges and entered a diversion program on a felony gun charge. ABC's chief legal analyst Dan Abrams says they were technical violations and the punishments are in line with the crimes. Now, U.S. Attorney David Weiss signed off on the deal. Now, he was appointed by former President Trump. Top Republicans have a lot to say about that deal.
Republicans are slamming Hunter Biden's plea agreement, which will likely allow him to avoid prison time. Former President Trump compared it to a traffic ticket. And here's Senator Lindsey Graham.
The questions that a lot of people have on our side, is this a sweetheart deal? Why did it take 5 years to come up with these charges?
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says the plea deal shows there's a 2-tiered justice system and says Congress will continue investigating Hunter Biden. McCarthy dodging questions about the U.S. attorney on the case, who is a Trump appointee. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Washington.
Breaking news on KSL News Radio. Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes has filed a lawsuit against the Environmental Protection Agency over its recently released ozone interstate transport rule. Reyes was joined by state and federal elected officials in fighting the Biden administration plan to regulate ozone emissions for power plants, saying that it could force early closures of some of Utah's plants. Utah Jazz games will be available free on broadcast television next season. KSL Sports reports that the Jazz have made a deal with the owners of KJazz Channel 14. In an interview with KSL's Hans and Scotty G back in March, Jazz owner Ryan Smith said that's been his goal.
I want every single Jazz fan, no matter where they are in the state and beyond, to be able to watch our games in any format that they want to.
The Jazz also have a paid streaming app on their website for fans who want to watch the games online. First look traffic. Ricky Meese, any trouble spots?
We have a couple of them. One is on I-215's West Belt, where we have the cleanup of where it looks like a motorhome hit the barrier. This is northbound on the West Belt, right about the North Temple area, not far from the I-80 junction. The other is on the opposite side of the valley, an auto versus motorcycle accident with injuries. This is near the mouth of Big Cottonwood Canyon on Wasatch Boulevard, about 6900 South. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Coming up, Jeff Caplan's take on the benefits of smashing things on video. Jeff Caplan's Minute of News is next.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and if you have a drain that's clogged or backed up, after you've tried the plungers and products, the next step usually involves some kind of drain snake or cabling equipment. You see, sometimes the blockage is far enough down the line that you need special equipment that most homeowners just don't have. That's where the Drains Department at Any Hour Services can help. A drain snake can clear most blockages and get the water flowing again, and clearing blocked drains is what our Drains Department does day in and day out. So if you're a homeowner with a drain line that's clogged or backed up and you'd like one of our drain technicians to come and snake the line for you, it's only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
KSL News Time, 3:08.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. I'm sure you have a favorite viral video, whether it's a cat on a surfboard or somebody pulverizing an iPhone with a hammer. Whatever it is, you can thank Vinnie Liccardi. Back in 1997, Vinny was a portly 40-something guy working in an office cubicle. He was on an old-fashioned computer, and something must have set him off. Captured on an office security camera, he smashes the giant old-fashioned computer. He punches the keyboard. He throws the computer. He kicks the 30-pound monitor across the floor. He's having a meltdown, and it was the first ever viral video. Except it wasn't even called that back then. It was just emailed from person to person, and turns out it was faked. You look close enough, you notice the computer isn't plugged in. Vinny is kind of smiling, but Vinny was onto something. These days, you have Lauri Vohensilta. This guy in Finland works in a metal shop and decided to put the 150-ton hydraulic press to work, smashing things.
Here we have our toilet paper.
He compressed a roll of toilet paper so completely it became bulletproof.
Whoa.
For tricks like this, the Wall Street Journal says Mr. Vohensilta is making $650,000 a year from YouTube. $650,000. So naturally now there are imitators who do things like sand the face off Thomas the Tank Engine with a belt sander, shred ukuleles into confetti, but they all owe a debt of gratitude to Vinnie Liccardi, a pioneer who didn't make a single cent beating up this computer.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 3:09. Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High Yield Savings Certificates. Here's Ricky Meese.
We have a serious accident being investigated over on Wasatch Boulevard, and it is affecting both north and southbound directions. Wasatch Boulevard, about 62 to 6900 south. Northbound is closed at Fort Union Boulevard, and they're going to close southbound at Wasatch Boulevard. Again, this is near the mouth of the canyon. SR 190 Big Cottonwood. So just keep that in mind. It's a spot you need to avoid if that's your usual route home. We're off to a great start on the southbound drive of I-15. Some busy spots of traffic in South Salt Lake, Murray, and Midvale, but no delays from downtown to Draper and from the point to Provo. We do have an accident on I-215 South Belt. This is westbound as you're approaching State Street. It's in the final cleanup stages and out of traffic. Steve?
Well, we still have a crash involving a trailer right now. UHP babysitting that trailer. Northbound 215 on the west side belt near North Temple, kind of up against the wall on the left side there. Otherwise, traffic moving well through there. Looking at full speeds on I-15 either way. Between downtown Salt Lake and Tremonton, got good speeds on the 215 west belt. Also on I-84, if you're headed up between, let's say, Riverdale and Echo Reservoir, Legacy Parkway looking good, and Highway 89. No problems there between Lagoon and I-84. When you choose Performance Automotive in Bountiful, you're choosing selection, 4 locations: Performance Ford Lincoln, Performance Honda, Toyota, and Truck Country. See it all at performancebountiful.com. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
Yesterday we squeaked out a 91. Today will be 73 and partly cloudy skies. Overnight lows in the upper 40s on the chilly side for June standards. We then bump it up to 77 tomorrow with sunny skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And it is a lot cooler in downtown Salt Lake City today, right now, 65 degrees. And still to come on Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News, some good news for jazz fans, a new deal that's going to save you some money. We'll go in depth coming up next.
Hi, this is Clark Ivory with Ivory Homes. 2023 is turning out to be pretty fantastic. We are consistently selling 20 to 30 homes per week, and we've helped hundreds of families and individuals by buying down their interest rates. Visit an Ivory model home today. You can choose from over 200 home designs and customize your plan just the way you want. Make this a summer to remember. The summer you created your own Ivory home.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingaroner, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
Calling all Utah locals. See the Southwest by rail on board Rocky Mountaineer. They've extended their latest offer until June 30th. Save up to $1,200 per couple. Visit RockyMountaineer.com to book.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Salt Lake City will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 801-263-7777. That's 801-263-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KSL News Time, 3:15. The three things you need to know this hour first.
Leaders of the Salt Lake Airport have announced the stores and completion dates for Phase 3 of the airport expansion. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, Rio Tinto plans to invest almost $1 billion in Kennecott's operations in Utah. Third, traffic and weather together. Here's Ricky Meese.
You need to avoid Wasatch Boulevard by Big Cottonwood Canyon. We've had a serious accident there, and it is affecting both directions of Wasatch Boulevard, north and southbound, between 6200 and 6900 south. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Cooler air has moved in. We'll reach 73 today with dry skies. I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, 65 degrees downtown. Time for KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A years-long investigation into Hunter Biden now leading to a plea agreement with federal prosecutors. President Biden's son now expected to plead guilty to charges he failed to pay taxes on income in 2017 and 2018. In exchange, prosecutors will likely recommend probation. ABC's Pierre Thomas says Republicans are calling this a sweetheart deal.
U.S. Attorney for Delaware, David Weiss, has looked at all these matters regarding China, Burisma, Ukraine, all of them, and could not come up with a chargeable case. That is their belief. That is what you will hear them putting forth in the coming days. That the Justice Department, again, a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney investigating for 5 years, could not bring any prosecutable offenses.
President Biden today in California holding a roundtable with artificial intelligence industry experts offered a few words about his son on the deal and battle with drug addiction.
I'm very proud of my son.
Republicans say they'll continue to investigate Hunter Biden's business dealings overseas. Off the coast of Canada, a race against time to find the private sub that vanished with 5 people on board. The Ocean Gate expedition group was headed to the wreckage of the Titanic several miles below sea level. Oxygen supplies are dwindling by the hour. ABC's Louis Martinez says crews have deployed remote sub vessels looking for any signs of life.
What they're using right now is an ROV from a commercial vessel, not from the U.S. Navy or from the Coast Guard. This is from a commercial vessel that happened to be in the area, and so but there are also limitations on the depths to which it can go. But it shows you that they're trying to figure out exactly where the submersible may be. Is it at the bottom of the ocean right now? Is it potentially somewhere in an area where it could rise up?
Pennsylvania's governor says the stretch of I-95 that collapsed due to the tanker fire will reopen this weekend. Crews have been working around the clock on a temporary fix since the accident less than 2 weeks ago. You're listening to ABC News.
Time for the KSL In-Depth. The Jazz fans will soon be able to watch games free on KJazz TV. Joining me earlier was KSL Sports Utah Jazz insider Ben Anderson, and he says it's a good deal for fans.
It's awesome. If you've needed a cable or satellite subscription in past years to watch Jazz games, which has been the case for the better half of the last decade, that's not the case anymore. If you grew up in Utah, you remember watching Jazz games on KJazz, and that's going to be the case for the 2023-24 season. And really, coverage is going to begin maybe as soon as the draft. Ryan Smith told me earlier today that they're hoping to have some draft coverage, which is Thursday night on KJazz already.
Okay, tell us a little bit about this deal. How long has it been in the making, and what did it take to make this happen?
For a very long time. The Jazz long-term contract with AT&T Sports ran out of time a few years ago, and they've really just been doing one-year extensions. The pandemic certainly didn't help with that, trying to figure out what the changing landscape of NBA media was going to look like. And finally, it got to the point where a lot of these regional sports networks were going out of business and didn't want to be dealing with sports anymore because it was far too expensive. And this allowed the Jazz to have the best option to maintain flexibility for a future deal with another partner, while also providing 3 million fans in Utah the ability to watch the games, plus a new streaming options that's going to be available at UtahJazz.com.
Okay, great deal for the fans, obviously. For the players?
It shouldn't affect much as long as Ryan Smith is willing to continue to keep the Jazz salary cap high and is willing to pay players and doesn't say he's going to make up that money by not signing the same types of players. But in all honesty, I don't think that will be the case. I don't think he's pinching pennies.
We should know as early as tomorrow if the NBA draft set for Thursday will also air on KJazz. KSL News Time 3:19. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High Yield Savings Certificates. And Ricky Meese has had her eyes on a serious problem on Wasatch Boulevard.
Yeah, and this is a crash with serious injuries involving a motorcycle or bike, and it is affecting both directions of Wasatch Boulevard. Now, that's approximately 3600 East, and it's by the mouth of Big Cottonwood Canyon. Both directions are impacted. It's a spot you just need to avoid until they can get that back open again. Now, southbounders on I-15, traffic starting to get a little busy and slow at the South Interchange and Midvale. But that's it for the southbound drive. Northbound I-15, spots of busy and slower traffic setting in, and this is between 3300 South and 6 South. Downtown, the crash we had westbound I-215 South Belt at State Street has cleared, but now we have a new accident. This is in Utah County. It's on the ramp at northbound I-15 and 8000 South in Spanish Fork to the shoulder. Steve?
Got some slowdowns now. Northbound 215 on the west side belt route right around North Temple. Had a crash there involving a trailer. Looks like the tow trucks have arrived. They're about to load that up and move it out of the way. It's up against the wall on the left there. Otherwise, not a bad drive on I-15 if you're traveling north or southbound between downtown Salt Lake and Brigham City. Same goes for the I-80 freeway either way between Ogden and Echo Reservoir right now. Plus the Legacy Parkway, all good to go, as is Highway 89. Get the Intermountain West Contractors Advantage, quality, speed, value for your money, and use code RADIO1000 to get $1,000 off a roof replacement now. Visit IWCroofing.com. Steve Carlson, KSL Traffic Center.
JSL 7-day forecast starts out on the cool side. 73 degrees, partly cloudy skies. It will feel fantastic. 49 overnight with clearing skies. We'll go to 77 tomorrow, sunny skies. How about Thursday? Partly cloudy, 84. Breezy on Friday, mostly cloudy, 83. We'll go breezy again on Saturday, mostly sunny, 82. Cranking it up to upper 80s and low 90s as we work into Sunday and Monday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, a bit of a breeze, sunny, 66 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. And the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Troy, I want to spoil the crud out of our amazing customers during Bish's RV Customer Appreciation Month.
Oh, I'm with you. We're throwing the biggest customer appreciation sale in our history.
Okay, this should be good.
For starters, employee pricing is back on select RVs. Go to Bish's.com and click the Get Lowest Price button.
Stop! Cut the music.
What the heck?
You're leading with employee pricing? You gotta save your best for last, not first.
Can I just get back to the sale?
Just saying. Hit it, guys.
On top of employee pricing on select RVs, we're giving you 90 days no payments for all play and no pay OAC.
That's good too.
And no reasonable offer will be refused on remaining 2022s.
Whoa.
Plus, we'll trade anything. Just ask.
Cut the music.
What now?
Sorry, just feeling a little power hungry.
Is that it?
Yep, you're doing great. Hit it, guys.
Get employee pricing, 90 days no payments OAC, amazing trade value, and more during Customer Appreciation Month at Bish's RV in North Salt Lake and our new location in American Fork. Bish's RV, where memories begin.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. Opening a My Social Security account gives you secure access to your personal record and interactive tools tailored for you. You can see if you are eligible to receive benefits, view spousal benefit estimates, and compare retirement benefit estimates at different ages or dates when you want to start receiving benefits. Already receiving benefits? Use your account to change your address, set up or change direct deposit, get a proof of income letter, and more. In most states, you can also request a replacement Social Security card. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
KSL News Time, 3:25. We are watching Utah's money. Delta has been named the best airline in North America at the Skytrax World Airline Awards. It's the third straight year that Delta has won the award. The award is determined by customer surveys. Delta also earned the top spot for best airline staff service in North America for the second consecutive year. Bed Bath & Beyond, which filed for bankruptcy this year, plans to hold a separate sales for Bye Bye Baby assets. The company will move forward with the auction for its BB&B assets, but hopes to keep Bye Bye Baby stores open depending on that auction. Domino's Pizza may deliver to your favorite beach or park soon. The company is rolling out a new technology nationwide that allows customers to receive a delivery almost anywhere. The pinpoint delivery rollout has scored well in test marketing, and Domino's will make the feature available for the first time in U.S. markets. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 245 points. It closed at 34,054. S&P down by 20. The Nasdaq down by 22 points. The electric vehicle market is shaking up brand loyalty.
A new survey from Edmunds finds that 85% of car buyers shopping for an EV are open to buying one from a brand they've never owned before. Edmunds sales data finds in the first quarter of this year, more than 6 in 10 trade-ins for EVs were from a different car company. In general, market share for EVs is small, about 6.7% as of last month, but it's growing. That figure was 5.3% in May of last year. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Tim and Amanda.
You know, we've been doing this, 30 years, Tim? We know that the news can be heavy. We know that it can be difficult sometimes to listen to or understand. But that doesn't mean that we're supposed to live in that down place every day. We learn the news, we're educated so we can take care of our families. But then, you know what? We go out and have a good day.
Well, I think both of us come from the standpoint, and we have families. We have kids that are coming up different ages. Yours are younger than mine. Mine are grown adults. But we always try and look for the bright side, I think, because we all want to have that in our lives.
And it's there. There is a bright side.
There is a bright side out there, and so we look for those opportunities each day to hopefully send that message to you, even if it's not directly, in words, that at least in sentiment, things are going to be okay.
Do you know what I like to tell people? The news is the exception, not the rule. So if there's violence in the news, that's the exception. The rule is most of us are safe and happy and doing okay.
Amen.
Utah's Morning News between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Never completely ready to adopt a teen.
For late nights writing English papers.
For your teen's music taste.
For dinners, where they talk more on their phone than with you.
For the first time, they call you Mom.
You're never completely ready to adopt a teen, and you can't imagine the reward.
To learn more about adopting a teen, visit adoptuskids.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Removing the Bible may be just the beginning.
When the legislature passes a law to preclude certain conduct, sometimes it catches things that they never intended to catch.
In a case of unintended consequences.
This is actually something the majority of parents don't want to see.
Reporter Amy Kobabe goes cover to cover on the story. Battle of the Books, this week on KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 3:29. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. The latest now with Ricky Meese.
I'm looking to see what may be slowing down the drive on northbound I-15. I don't have anything official reported, but northbound I-15 really getting jammed up from 3300 to 6 South downtown. And if you're in that spot, just be prepared for unusual, heavy and slower traffic. Southbound I-15, that's filling in and slowing down between 53rd and 7200 South. It's a delay-free drive on the rest of your Salt Lake County freeways and I-15 in Utah County. But Wasatch Boulevard, that is blocked off due to a serious accident being investigated near the mouth of Big Cottonwood. It's a spot you want to avoid both north and southbound between 6200 and 6900 South. Steve?
Looks like Foothill Drive southbound a little busy right there at 13 South by Foothill Village. Otherwise, I-15, no problems either way between Salt Lake and Willard Bay State Park. Looks like northbound 215 still had that crash on the West Side Belt Route. Getting that cleaned up right now. Tow trucks on the scene to load up that trailer, which is in the left shoulder right now. Otherwise, good speeds on the West Belt, Legacy, and on Highway 89 between Lagoon and I-84. Save with Burt Brothers on brand name tires. Up to $150 off select Goodyear tires. Up to $140 off select Bridgestone tires and $130 off select Firestone tires. Burt Brothers, complete auto care done better. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
How about some partly cloudy skies today with cool temperatures, 73 degrees. That's at least 10 below the normal. 49 overnight with clear skies, goes to 77 tomorrow afternoon with sunny skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
You're listening to Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon. It's 3:30 at KSL. I'm Maria Shilaos, sitting in today for Jeff Kaplan. Sunny skies in downtown Salt Lake City and 66 degrees. KSL's top story this hour. Utah's eviction numbers are up this year, but not much higher than pre-pandemic levels. KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris has details.
Nearly 3,000 eviction cases were filed in the first 4 months of this year. That's higher than it's been the past few years, and many researchers say the main cause is that there are no more pandemic rental relief funds. But with the addition of 20,000 more rental properties, the estimated eviction rate at the end of this year will only be 2.3%, which is the same as the eviction rate in 2019 and lower than it was in 2018 and 2017.
Utah's eviction rate is the 9th lowest in the nation and isn't expected to rise significantly anytime soon. Industries that rely on migrant labor are still struggling to find workers, even though it's been a month since Title 42 was lifted. KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricard Bell sat down with Governor Spencer Cox and has this story.
Immigration needs to be a state-solved problem, according to Governor Spencer Cox.
I wrote an op-ed recently with the governor of Indiana supporting that idea that we should let every state decide in what types of industries and how many visas they need in those industries.
He says Utah has had a solution for some time now.
It's been 11 or 12 years since Utah passed our comprehensive immigration reform, which I think was groundbreaking. I think it's a model for the nation. And unfortunately, neither the Obama administration nor the Trump administration allowed us to implement that.
Hugo Ricard Bell, KSL News Radio.
The Dixie Springs fire near Hurricane is now being mopped up. The 600-acre fire was threatening dozens of homes and structures. The BLM told KSL.com that they believe the fire was human-caused, but they didn't provide more details. If you're planning on camping this week, it's more important than ever to make sure that your campfire is out. The gusty winds could increase fire danger by quickly picking up embers.
It's going to blow those embers miles away from where the actual fire started. So then you run the risk of fires that are torching and spotting ahead of the fire, and can't put firefighters on the ground in head of an active fire.
Fire prevention specialist Paula Imlay says the wind also dries out the environment, and with winds over 25 miles an hour and humidity below 20% in the southern half of the state, fire danger increases. Our top national story this hour. It's a race against time as crews try to find a small vessel with 5 passengers on board that was supposed to tour the wreckage of the Titanic. The people on board have enough oxygen until Thursday. ABC's Sam Sweeney says that there aren't many ships that can reach it.
You have to get really advanced equipment out there and be able to salvage this submersible vehicle that could be as far as 13,400 feet below the surface there on the water. Very few pieces of equipment can do that. The U.S. Navy, even all of our NATO allies, don't have a submarine that can go that low.
The vessel was supposed to float back to the surface after any possible malfunction. I-95 repairs are speeding along. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro says the portion of interstate that collapsed in Philadelphia last week will reopen this weekend.
Just yesterday, they worked through the scorching heat. They have worked literally around the clock, 24/7, in 12-hour shifts.
There will be 3 new lanes going in both directions for drivers until the permanent bridge is in place. A new bill is working its way through Congress, and it could allow disabled passengers to sit in their own wheelchairs on airplanes. KSL News Radio's Heather Kelly has more.
Almost 900 wheelchairs and scooters were damaged by airline personnel in January of this year alone. That is just one reason accessibility advocates tell the news website Axios they want Congress to approve the FAA reauthorization bill. They say researchers found it is completely feasible for users to remain in their chairs on flights.
Airline insiders say carriers would lose money if they had to remove standard seats to accommodate wheelchairs. We are getting a look inside of the next phase of construction at the Salt Lake Airport.
Phase 3 of the airport expansion continues to move along. Salt Lake City Executive Director of Airports Bill Wyatt says the first 5 gates of Concourse B East will open in fall 2024 with another 4 opening in 2025.
The growth that we're experiencing is really the product of the economic growth of this region.
12 stores and restaurants are also coming in Phase 3. Among those are a Freddy's Steak Burgers, a Cotopaxi, and an Apple-licensed iStore Express. Wyatt says they hope to have the entire airport expansion done by late 2026.
We're opening gates every year from now until when we open, so we're really excited.
Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
First look traffic, Ricky Meese, how's Wasatch Boulevard?
Well, it's still closed at this time, so you need to avoid that by the mouth of Big Cottonwood. But we do have slowdowns setting in northbound I-15 from South Salt Lake to downtown. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Coming up on Jeff Caplan's Afternoon News, we're going to get Jeff's take on the latest diet trends. Jeff Caplan's Minute of News is next.
Hey, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, it's time to change the game. It's all about changing the conversation. I did that 18 months ago with SOTA Weight Loss. SOTA stands for state-of-the-art weight loss because it is state-of-the-art. I lost 37 pounds in less than 90 days, and here I am a year and a half later. I feel better, I sleep better, I perform better, and all through a very simple process. The pounds and inches roll away, and most important, you get to that strong space where you feel like yourself again or like you've got that energy. And I'm not the only one. There are countless people across the country, and right here in the state of Utah, I love to hear from people who will send me a text or pull me aside at an event and say, Boyd, I did it. I did it, and it worked, and it can work for you. So as I always say, when it comes to your SOTA weight loss journey, there's no time to lose. There's only time to win. So start winning. Check it out at sotaweightloss.com, SOTA weightloss.com.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Boyd Matheson helps you to think about the news differently.
Hunker down in our own little social media bubbles
We can never have a more important conversation.
Join an elevated conversation. Inside Sources from 1 to 3. Then Jeff Caplan and his Minute of News on the drive home on KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 3:38.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. How's that diet doing? The one you began after the holidays. Did you do the Atkins diet? Maybe the paleo diet, where you eat like a caveman? Or perhaps you're a locavore, exclusively eating foods sourced locally. And there's a new one, Climatarians, buy foods based on their carbon footprint.
First, cut out beef. Beef production is a huge user of energy and water. To make just 1 quarter pounder, you will need 150 gallons of water.
For a climatarian, beef is bad, pork is okay, fruits and vegetables are eaten only in season because if the fruit has to be flown in from another country, importing it burns jet fuel, bad for the environment. Personally, I'm becoming a priceivore. That's where you eat whatever's cheapest. They used to call it scraping to make ends meet, but aren't we all? So as we skip the Lucky Charms and buy that Marshmallow Magic generic cereal, don't consider yourself cheap or struggling. Call yourself a priceivore. Suddenly you're okay, because your diet reflects a guiding principle. I made the term up, but if I'm honest, I am not really a true priceivore. My wife is the thrifty one who does the shopping. My guiding principle is get off my lawn, which makes me a what-do-you-mean-ivore. That's a guy who looks at the grocery receipt on the kitchen counter, sees that 6 bags are $200 and says, "What do you mean potato chips are $4.99? And after complaining, this is important, a what-do-you-mean-ivore eats every last chip and then complains that there's no dip. Only problem is, while the climatarians are saving the world, I gained 3 pounds this month.
Because I'm fat, fat, fat. Shimon.
How's your diet going?
Don't you call me pudgy, portly, or stout, just to tell me once again who's fat.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 3:39. Traffic and weather. It's brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High Yield Savings Certificates. And here's Ricky Neese.
We want to pass along what a KSL traffic trooper has texted in. Northbound traffic, I presume they mean on I-15, is down to 1 lane due to a single vehicle accident 2 miles north of Payson. And it does have traffic backed up to the Payson exit. Now, for the rest of Utah County, we do have a good drive in progress north and southbound I-15 between the Point and Provo. Southbound I-15 Salt Lake County drivers, it is bogged down between 5300 and 90th South, and northbound I-15 heavy and slow from Murray to the 6th South exit downtown. We're clear on the rest of the Salt Lake County freeways, but we still have the cleanup of the crash by Big Cottonwood Canyon. This is affecting both directions of travel on Wasatch Boulevard between 6200 and about 6900 South. Steve?
Southbound Foothill Boulevard getting busy with it a little bit there from Sunnyside Avenue out to about 17 South right now. Looks like that crash on northbound 215 on the west side belt in the clearing stages. Got the trailer loaded up on the tow truck, hauling that off right now. No problems there with any backups. Watch for it, though, on the left side. Looks like full speeds on 15 either way between downtown Salt Lake and Brigham City. Good speeds on the 215 west belt and, of course, on I-84 Legacy and Highway 89. Got a crash way out there, 6500 west at 700 north. While you were spring cleaning, did you check your drains from kitchen sinks to main lines? Big Brothers Home Services is here for you 24/7 because their motto is we do more. Visit them at bigbrothershomeservices.com. Steve Carlson at the KSL Traffic Center.
A very comfortable June day today, 73 degrees, partly cloudy skies. We go to 49 overnight. And for tomorrow, the first day of summer, we go 77 degrees and sunny skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, 66 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. And still to come on Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News, a free speech issue is being debated in St. George. We'll take a look at the latest ruling coming up on KSL News Radio.
Life is full of firsts. Your first car, first college class, first trip to the ocean, first house, first child, your first day on the job, and your first day of retirement. As you grow, You First is here for all of your important milestones. Come grow with us. You First can help you take each first step towards growing your life's potential. Learn more about how You First can support you through all of life's firsts at youfirstcu.com. That's youfirstcu.com.
There's never been a better time to go and discover this country. There's also never been a better time to buy a new motorhome. First thing, go to General RV during our Integra Motorhome Day sales event, June 21st through the 24th. Get up to 40% off Class A, B, and C motorhomes, making our prices the lowest in years. Save big on a new Integra motorhome now and discover how to have it all anywhere. Just head on down to General RV in Draper off I-15.
Are you tired of living with the discomfort and pain caused by varicose veins? Look no further. The Interventional Vascular and Vein Center, or IVC, is excited to announce a special event just for you. Join them on Saturday, June 24th from 9 to 1 in Provo. During this exclusive event, they'll be offering varicose vein screenings. Their highly trained specialists will perform a limited ultrasound on your legs to evaluate you for venous disease. This procedure will help them understand your condition better and provide you with the best possible treatment options. So if you suffer from leg aches and pain, heaviness in your legs, leg swelling, restless leg, blood clots, or even pelvic pain, make sure to mark your calendars and join them at IVC. Don't let these symptoms hold you back any longer, because life starts when the pain stops. Don't miss this opportunity to get the care you deserve. Call 801-379-6700 or visit ivein.com to secure a time for your complimentary assessment on June 24th. Spots are limited, so don't wait.
KSL News Time, 3:45. The three things you need to know this hour first.
A KSL investigation is shedding new light on a state law that sets the stage for materials to be challenged in school libraries. And what we learned is that the new law isn't being consistently applied. I'm KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce.
Second, Utah's Attorney General has filed a lawsuit against the EPA over its ozone interstate transport rule. Third, traffic and weather. Here's Ricky Meese.
We do have delays on north and southbound I-15 in Salt Lake County, but a little further south on I-15, we do have a single vehicle crash north of Payson on the way to Spanish Fork, right around the Benjamin area, and it is causing heavy delays through that stretch. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Cool in the 70s today, but a warm-up's coming. I'm Matt Johnson.
Sunny, 68 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. Time now for KSL's top national stories from ABC News.
President Biden says he is behind his son Hunter, who's agreed to plead guilty to a pair of tax-related misdemeanors and a pretrial diversion agreement on a felony gun charge.
I'm very proud of my son.
The president answering reporters after an appearance today in San Francisco. Many Republicans say the charges are too lenient.
Questions that a lot of people have on our side, is this a sweetheart deal? Why did it take 5 years to come up with these charges?
South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Multiple vessels are searching off the coast of Newfoundland for a missing submersible with 5 people on board. The Titan was on expedition to view the wreck of the Titanic. The governor of Pennsylvania says a portion of I-95 in Philadelphia, which collapsed last week, will reopen this weekend. A federal judge struck down the nation's first ban on gender-affirming care, saying the bill that was passed by Arkansas lawmakers is unconstitutional. Stocks fell to start a short week, the Dow down more than 200 points. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Time for the KSL In-Depth. St. George City must issue a permit to Southern Utah Drag Stars, a Utah-based group that organizes all-age drag shows. Now, the ruling came from a U.S. district judge after the group sued the city, which had denied it a permit. Joining me in the studio is KSL legal analyst Greg Skordas. And Greg, tell us about the significance of this for people who want to use public spaces.
Yeah, so Maria, a lot of people don't realize that you don't just go to a park, a city park or a county park, and just show up and do your event. I mean, you can go there and have lunch or whatever, but if you're putting on an event, whether it's an art show or a deal for we used to do them for our drug court graduates over here at the park, but you have to get a permit. You have to get a permit. And cities and counties are told that they have to issue these permits unless the content, unless what's being done there is so offensive or so problematic that they can't do it. And so in this case, you just said the Southern Utah Drag Stars, whatever that is, the group that decided to put on this drag show went to the city people there in St. George and says, we want to have our show at your park. And the city denied it. And you can't, it's not that easy. It's not that easy in America because of the First Amendment. And a federal court judge, Judge Newfer, who's a very conservative judge who's been around for years and years, said, you know what, you can't restrict it so easily. And there's some pretty strict rules in America in 2023 that say that you can regulate time, place, and manner of events. So you can say, well, you can't have your drag show on, during school hours, or you have to do it afternoon, or and it has to be at a certain venue of the park, and there can be no nudity or anything like that. But you can't just outlaw it outright. And that's what the judge says. No, they've applied for this permit, and you have to allow it.
Right. So you can't discriminate against different groups because you don't like what it is they're doing.
Right. And this all goes back to I think it was the KKK that wanted to march in Illinois, and they said, no, we're not going to give you a permit. And of all people to defend the KKK, it was the ACLU who said, we may not like their message, but we support the First Amendment, and you've got to give them a permit. And they did. And the federal court said, time, place, and manner. You've got to allow groups to speak. You've got to allow political or professional groups to be able to hold their events and be able to give their message, whether you agree with it or not. And ironically, what this has done is probably given so much traction and so much notoriety to a group that probably wouldn't have gotten a lot of attention anyway in St. George. I don't know what kind of audience they would have down there, but now it's going to be a big event.
So does this set a precedent for future laws that lawmakers might look at about how to deny certain groups, availability to areas? I mean, what could happen from this?
There's no that's a great question, Maria, because I think that the legislature may try to jump in and say, hey, wait a minute, we do need to regulate this. But we're talking about the United States Supreme Court that has defined when you can regulate speech. We're talking about the First Amendment, so it's going to be very difficult for state legislators, and I think the federal Congress is not going to go anywhere near this, to try to come in and say, no, we're going to give cities and counties a little more leeway in regulating groups that are going to come onto their events. I just think you've got just let this one slide, let it go, do what the judge says, let them have their event and move forward. We'll see if that actually happens. We'll see if people really show up for it. But in this case, I really don't see the law changing as a result of this particular instance.
All right, Greg, thanks so much for your insight.
You bet.
And live with me in studio, that's KSL legal analyst Greg Skordas. KSL News Time 3:49. Traffic and weather is brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High Yield Savings Certificates. And here's Ricky Meese.
We had an accident northbound I-15 about halfway between Payson and Spanish Fork. Looks like all lanes of travel are open, but we still have delays backing from Payson to Benjamin in Utah County. But I-15 southbound from the Point to Provo, all clear. No accidents, no delays. Salt Lake County delays have set in. Southbound I-15 Murray into Sandy, and northbound I-15 speeds are improving, but it's still a little bogged down as you go from Murray to the downtown area. Westbound on the 21st South Freeway, traffic building as you're approaching I-215's West Belt, and we still have traffic impacted by Big Cottonwood Canyon due to an earlier crash involving a motorcycle. Both directions of Wasatch Boulevard are blocked. Northbound is closed at Fort Union. Southbound is closed at Wasatch Boulevard. So anywhere between Fort Union and 6200 South in that vicinity, you need to avoid and take an alternate route. Steve?
Got a crash way out west, 6500 west, 700 north. Looks like that crash on northbound 250 on the west side belt involving a trailer is gone, so got full speeds there. And same goes for I-15 either way, north or southbound between downtown Salt Lake and Willard Bay. And pretty good drive right now if you're traveling I-84, Legacy, or Highway 89. Steve Carlson at the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast starts with a cool one. 73 today with partly cloudy skies. 77 tomorrow, sunny as ever. Partly cloudy skies on your Thursday, 84. We keep it in the low and mid 80s with mostly cloudy skies on Friday, breezy out of the south. Dry breezy winds continue on Saturday, mostly sunny, 82. We then crank it up to 88 on Sunday, mostly sunny. Monday looks hot, 90 degrees. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Sunny and 68 degrees downtown. The 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
I hope you had a chance to grab a free Frazzle last Friday. Fear not, every single week of June ends on a Friday, and every single one is free Frazzle Friday. Just walk into your neighborhood convenience store, get a 12-ounce cup of Frazzle free, no charge. Best deal in the world, and participating convenience stores are everywhere. Holiday Oil, Maverick, Extra Mile, and many others. Now, if you're one of the friendly folks who's unfamiliar with Frazzle Fabulous, I'll fill you in. Frazzle is an ice-cold, flavor-packed slushie that comes in delicious flavors like my favorite, blue razzmatazz. My grandkids mix the flavors like tiger's blood, tangerango, lemon ice, whatever your flavor. Visit your convenience store and get your Frazzle free on Friday. One per person, but you can bring the whole family. Everybody celebrates Free Frazzle Friday. Why is it free? They're a Utah company gone national, and they're so confident you'll love it. The Frazzle is free on Friday. Where? Locations are on the Frazzle app or at freefrazzlefriday.com.
When interest rates rise, it's not all bad. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, helping you understand why now is the time to purchase an annuity. Annuities are the only products that will guarantee you an income you can't outlive. It's those guarantees that are tied to Treasury rates. And as we know, those rates are at 40-year highs. If you're in or within 10 years of retirement, use this to your advantage. This is exactly why it's possible to receive up to a 25% upfront bonus for income, and why it is possible to receive up to 10% per year for income growth. It's because of the high interest rates. Don't let anyone tell you it's not true, but also don't wait. Interest rates and these guarantees will eventually come down. Call 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600. Or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
At SimpliSafe, we design award-winning security to protect every inch of your home. It's easy to set up yourself, and now there's an even easier option. Have an expert do it for you with SimpliSafe Pro Install. Always protecting, never a contract. 2 easy installation options, backed by 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
WORK Work News Radio.
Next up, incidents of pressing all the elevator buttons unexpectedly spike on Bring Your Kid to Work Day. But first, the latest on a team lunch that wasn't ordered through EasyCater.
I'm in the break room where lunch that was previously announced on the way has now been downgraded to hopefully soon.
Fingers crossed, Michelle. Fingers crossed.
Newsflash, it's hard when the food is late, but at EasyCater, we make hard easy. With food for work delivered on time and is ordered from over 100,000 restaurants. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
Take a break from financial worries. Meet the Mountain America debt consolidation expert for a chance to win a vacation package. Details at macu.com/debt rescue.
We are watching Utah's money. New home building surged in May in the U.S. by the most in over 3 decades. The 291,000 unit increase in starts was the most since January 1990. The 21% increase was the largest gain since October of 2016. A new resort is coming to Midway. It's called Amiyali. Developers are selling 1/8 shares for $310,000. Once sales are completed, the resort will include a boutique hotel, restaurant, and a wellness center. The Cadillac Escalade IQ, which will debut on August 9th, is the newest EV in the Caddy family. It will use the same GM battery technology as other EV models in the line. There's not been a price listed yet for that new model. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 245 points. It closed at 34,054. The S&P down by 20. The NASDAQ down by 22 points. KSL News Time, 3:56. It's the 100-day countdown to Cougar football, brought to you by Bish's RV. And here's BYU insider Mitch Harper.
Last season was difficult for BYU tight end Isaac Rex. You go back to the regular season finale in 2021 against USC. Rex suffered a gruesome leg injury that required him to be carted off the field. Somehow he was still able to play last year, but at no point was he fully healthy as he was in 2020 when he had 12 touchdown catches as a freshman. Now a proud father with his wife Lexi, Isaac made the decision to come back to BYU for his 5th season with the Cougars.
Even though there's been some up and downs, I wanted to come back and I wanted to help this team win and have a good first year in the Big 12. I feel like that's really important. So, yeah, there's some other factors. Obviously, I didn't play last year at full strength, and I wanted to show a full, healthy season. But, yeah, I wanted to come back for this team and for the coaches and for the fans.
For more on Rex and the BYU tight end unit, go to KSLSports.com and the KSL Sports app. Countdown to Cougar football, 74 days to go. I'm Mitch Harper, KSL Sports.
And to get alerts on the latest breaking news, all you need to do is text the word news to the Cyprus Credit Union KSL text line at 57500.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. A My Social Security account allows you to access your earnings history and benefits information, request a replacement Social Security card, get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer.
Right on cue for summer. OPEC plans to cut oil production. Gas prices are headed up.
But people say they are not calling off their trips.
Whether you're planning a staycation or a day trip, start your summer here. Get updates on traffic out of town, gas prices, and everything you need to know. Listen each day this summer, mornings and afternoons, to KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 3:59. Traffic and weather. It's brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High Yield Savings Certificates. The latest on your drive. Here's Ricky Meese.
Delays already in place. Southbound I-15 between 4500 and 90th South. A few spots of busy traffic, but speeds are improving northbound I-15 between Murray and downtown. A little bit of increasing traffic westbound on the 201 at I-215's West Belt. I-15 in Utah County between the Point and Provo, both directions looking good. And the earlier delays from Pace and up to Spanish Fork on northbound I-15 are easing. Steve?
Looks like southbound Foothill Drive, a little busy right there from Sunnyside Avenue out to 13th South, right there by Foothill Village. Northbound 15 slowing now from 6 North into Rose Park, and some slowdowns on the West Side Belt. Northbound 215 from I-80 up to 6 North. Find out about how your kitchen or bath can be the kitchen or bath of your dreams in just 3 days. Just visit 3daykitchen.com. That's 3daykitchen.com. Steve Carlson from the KSL Traffic Center.
And the temperatures will begin to climb over the next few days, up to 76 for a high tomorrow, then back up into the 80s for the next week. Monday of next week, we're looking at 90 degrees. Right now, 68 degrees, a lot of sunshine in downtown Salt Lake City.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. Listen on the KSL News Radio app and in your car at 102.7 FM. KSL News Radio, your all-day companion for news.
Good afternoon. It's 4 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Maria Shilaos, sitting in this week for Jeff Caplan. KSL's top story this hour. Books are getting pulled from school shelves, but after a KSL investigation, we found that only some districts are being targeted. We have a full team looking into the numbers for the past 2 weeks. KSL News Radio's Amy Kobe begins our live team coverage, Battle of the Books. Amy?
Maria, we sent grammar requests to every single school district in the state, and the responses have been extremely eye-opening about what's actually going on in Utah schools. First, most districts had 0 complaints or challenges. That includes Salt Lake City School District. But then you travel just a few miles down the road to Granite, and dozens of challenges have come from just one individual. Spokesperson Ben Horsley says that only 6 people in total have challenged books in their district, and he's one of those 6.
Our process allows for an employee or a parent or any individual who sees something potentially inappropriate to make that challenge. And I did so because I felt like that was in the best interest of our students to review that material.
Horsley also says they have seen a huge jump in challenges since that House Bill 374 passed last year.
Previous to 374, we probably had 1 to 2 challenges a year.
This is also true in the Wasatch County School District, according to Garrick Peterson. He tells us that this isn't really what he would call banning books.
I don't see it that way. I think it goes back to, the school board has a responsibility to make sure that the curriculum that is in front of kids is appropriate.
Both Granite and Wasatch say they're doing their best to follow the state's laws. But in Granite, over 2,500 man-hours have been spent reviewing books that have had challenges. A children's literature expert says the standards in this new state law are too subjective, and he's worried that they're being applied inconsistently. Our team coverage, the Battle of the Books, continues with KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce.
Peter Bromberg is a librarian, and he's the associate director of a group called Every Library.
These books have already been vetted through multiple layers.
What he means by that is that librarians aren't just educated and licensed, they've already screened the books thoroughly.
Then look at state education standards, they look at local policies that have been passed by their board, and they also look at who are the students in my school that are coming into the library and what are their needs educationally, socially, et cetera. And then they're going to take this very relatively small amount of money they have to spend on materials, and they're going to, again, look at those policies, those reviews, those standards, that student body, and purchase a book for the shelf.
Bromberg says the new state law is being interpreted and applied differently from school to school and district to district.
It's basically saying if it's sexually explicit, we don't have to evaluate it to see if it's sexually explicit. I mean, it's kind of like saying, well, we don't have to give you a trial if you're guilty. We're going to first determine that you're guilty, and then we're going to decide, well, based on that, you don't get a trial.
And all of that, he says, conflicts with federal law and librarian training.
I'm not an attorney. I suspect that if someone sued on that, it would not pass muster.
Becky Bruce, KSL News Radio.
Now, we worked with KSL TV on this report, and Daniela Rivera will have more on some of the individual books that have been challenged. Tune in to KSL 5 at 10 tonight for her full report. Reporting live, Amy Kobabe, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story this hour. Legal troubles for Hunter Biden have not stopped the president from praising or supporting his son.
I'm very proud of my son.
That was President Biden's response to reporters today as they yelled out questions about Hunter Biden's plea deal. Republicans' reaction was very different.
Senator Lindsey Graham joining other Republicans wondering why Hunter Biden got a plea bargain, avoiding jail time for admitting to violating tax and gun laws.
Is this a sweetheart deal? Wanted to take 5 years to come up with these charges.
Senator Graham and Republicans not mentioning that it was a Trump-appointed prosecutor who spent years investigating the president's son and made that plea deal. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
The 53-year-old's agreement to the prosecution's terms could result in an end to a years-long probe against the president's son. Congressman Chris Stewart is talking about who he would like to fill his seat. He's giving an endorsement to Celeste Malloy. Malloy happens to be the congressman's chief legal counsel right now. Stewart will be stepping down effective September 15th to take care of family issues. Utah Jazz fans will get to watch games free on TV this season. The team has a new deal with the owners of K-Jazz, Channel 14, to broadcast the games. Back in March, Jazz owner Ryan Smith told Hans and Scotty G with KSL Sports that they hope to reach more fans than they did on cable TV.
I think our partnership with AT&T has been great, but at the same time, like being able to provide our games to 30, 40, 50% of the possible fans in the state is not ideal for anyone.
The Jazz will also have a paid streaming service available on the team website for fans who want to watch the games online. As researchers learn more about brain damage from contact sports like football, a new study examines what increases risk factors.
Studies have established a link between repeated impacts to the head and CTE, a degenerative condition found in the brains of many former football players. A new study published in the journal Nature looked at 20 years of data studying former football players and found the most effective predictor of CTE is not a diagnosed concussion, but rather the total amount of force to the head absorbed in a career. CTE, which cannot be diagnosed until after death, has been linked with memory loss, impulse problems, depression, and suicidal behavior. Brian Clark, ABC News.
First look traffic, Ricky Meese, major problems?
We do have lanes blocked due to a crash with injuries being investigated near the mouth of Big Cottonwood Canyon, Wasatch Boulevard, about 6200 south. Also, another day of construction delays northbound Highway 40 trying to get to Silver Summit at the I-80 junction. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Coming up, Jeff Caplan is showing us how one man's video led to a generation of viral videos. Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News is next.
Hey guys, Alex and Scott for Alpine Home Medical. It is spring. It is time for us to start thinking about getting out and going out into the outdoors and enjoying our lives a little bit more. And Alpine Home Medical is there to help you on that journey. And even if it's tough for you, look, if you need to get some things for your personal health to be dialed in, this is the time to do it. And Alpine Home Medical are the ones to call to get it done.
Yeah, I've loved my experience going to Alpine Home Medical. They're friendly. They get things done. They work through your insurance, through your doctor, and they get you out being able to live life. I have a a CPAP machine that I've had with them for years, and they're great to work with me and really create an experience where I'm not limited. I can enjoy life, but I can also take care of my medical needs, and they can do that for you. If you have struggles, challenges, or whatever, they're going to find the right products to help you kind of climb your own mountain to health and wellness.
CPAP resupply program, the portable oxygen, comfortable lift chairs, bathroom safety needs, so much more. AlpineHomeMedical.com. They've got 10 locations in Utah and southern Idaho and a brand new location coming soon. Visit them at AlpineHomeMedical.com.
Get Mr. Max Performance Missionary Package. 1 performance suit, 4 and collar stretch shirts, 3 ties, 1 mission belt, and 1 pair of Echo or Johnston & Murphy shoes. Just $595.
If your water heater's over 10 to 15 years old, congratulations. You've beat the average. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I love hearing stories of people having water heaters that are really old and they're still doing their job. Unfortunately, most of us won't be that lucky. And when water heaters fail, it's usually in spectacularly inconvenient fashion. Whether it's an unexpected cold shower when we're already running late for work, or worse yet, coming home to a flooded basement, it's never fun. If you'd like to look into replacing your water heater before it fails, Any Hour Services is having a sale for any homeowners listening. Whether you're looking for a new tanked water heater or you want to see what upgrading to a tankless would cost, the plumbers at Any Hour Services can show you what options are available. And right now, you can save $400 on a tanked water heater or $1,200 on a tankless. If you think you might be interested, call Any Hour Services today and schedule your free estimate. 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
KSL News Time, 4:08.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. I'm sure you have a favorite viral video, whether it's a cat on a surfboard or somebody pulverizing an iPhone with a hammer. Whatever it is, you can thank Vinnie Liccardi. Back in 1997, Vinny was a portly 40-something guy working in an office cubicle. He was on an old-fashioned computer, and something must have set him off. Captured on an office security camera, he smashes the giant old-fashioned computer. He punches the keyboard. He throws the computer. He kicks the 30-pound monitor across the floor. He's having a meltdown, and it was the first ever viral video. Except it wasn't even called that back then. It was just emailed from person to person, and turns out it was faked. You look close enough, you notice the computer isn't plugged in. Vinny is kind of smiling, but Vinny was onto something. These days, you have Lauri Vohensilta. This guy in Finland works in a metal shop and decided to put the 150-ton hydraulic press to work, smashing things.
Here we have our toilet paper.
He compressed a roll of toilet paper so completely it became bulletproof.
Whoa.
For tricks like this, the Wall Street Journal says Mr. Vohensilta is making $650,000 a year from YouTube. $650,000. So naturally now there are imitators who do things like sand the face off Thomas the Tank Engine with a belt sander, shred ukuleles into confetti, but they all owe a debt of gratitude to Vinnie Liccardi, a pioneer who didn't make a single cent beating up this computer.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High Yield Savings Certificates. Let's get an update now with Ricky Meese.
Well, the good news is the earlier heavy and slow traffic we had northbound I-15 from Murray to downtown has cleared out. The bad news is southbound delays are still in place, and they are solid now and waiting for you going between 4500 and 90th South. A little bit of busy traffic in spots westbound on the 201 between Redwood Road and Bangerter Highway. And we still have crews working on a crash scene investigation near Big Cottonwood Canyon. This is at Wasatch Boulevard, about 6200 South. Mark?
KSL Traffic Trooper reminding us northbound I-15 is still heavy up from Payson from a crash north of Main Street. Rocky Mountain Power doing some utility work. SR92 American Fork Canyon closed at Canyon Road and Highland until further notice. Mountain View and Bangerter are their normal slow selves out west for the rush hour. Steve.
Got a crash on Redwood Road this afternoon at 700 North. Northbound I-15 filling in now by the oil refineries into North Salt Lake. Southbound 15 a little busy in Davis County at 200 North in Kaysville, also at Shepherd Lane. And some slowdowns on the west side belt route northbound 215 from I-80. Time to replace your roof. Intermountain West contractors can finish most roofs in one day. Use Radio 1000 and get $1,000 off a new roof replacement. Call iwcroofing.com. Steve Carlson at the KSL Traffic Center.
A very comfortable June day today, 73 degrees, partly cloudy skies. We go to 49 overnight. And for tomorrow, the first day of summer, we go 77 degrees and sunny skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And we still haven't felt 73 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City, only 67 downtown. And still to come on Jeff Caplan's Afternoon News, we're going to hear more about Hunter Biden's plea deal reached today. We're going to go live with ABC News legal analyst Royal Oaks straight ahead.
Summer's here. You're going to be flipping the lid on the barbecue and probably grilling up some steaks. Allow me to suggest that you need a frame of reference. You need to enjoy a perfectly grilled steak seasoned and prepared by experts to know what you're shooting for this summer. You need to take a purely educational field trip to Ruth's Chris. At either location, downtown Salt Lake or at the Hotel Park City, they will create the perfect steak. They'll season it to taste, and you can pepper the waitstaff with questions. Take notes if you want. I can tell you they're going to grill your cowboy ribeye or filet or New York strip at precisely 1,000 degrees. They'll serve it on a sizzling plate preheated to 500. Look, I've been places in this life, and the Ruth's Chris filet is the best steak I've ever had. Or have the lamb, chicken, seafood, all superb. Ruth's Chris is opulent but not stuffy. Make a reservation, for research purposes, of course. Downtown or at the Hotel Park City. I love Ruth's Chris. You will too.
You get business. So when it comes to business expenses, look for the card that gets you. The Zions Bank Amazing Card for Business. Apply now for and earn $1,000 bonus cash or 100,000 bonus rewards points when you spend $5,000 in the first 120 days from account opening. Your all business card awaits. For business expenses, large or small, Zions Bank is for you. Visit online or at your local branch to get started. Subject to credit approval. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. A division of Zions Bank Corporation. NA member FDIC.
It's camping season, and exciting adventures are waiting for you in a new RV from Motorsportsland. With this past winter lasting months longer than normal, the local RV season is finally kicked off and in full gear. Join hundreds of others in their search for outdoor adventure at Motorsportsland. We still have 2022 RVs in stock that we planned to have gone by March, but it was still snowing. They have got to go to make room for incoming orders, and we have crazy low prices on all 22s. Like our fully loaded 31-foot MPG travel trailer with a huge bunkhouse and 2 slide-outs at dealer cost for only $38,500. Or our Viking 1706 tent trailer below dealer cost for only $11,000. We have excellent financing as well as options with 0 down. Inventory at these prices is limited, so come in now and let Motorsportsland help you get away.
Let Motorsportsland help you get away.
Motorsportsland.com.
KSL News Time, 4:15. The 3 things you need to know this hour. First,
leaders of the Salt Lake Airport have announced the stores and completion dates for Phase 3 of the airport expansion. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, the Utah Jazz will broadcast their live games free on TV this season. Third, traffic and weather together, beginning with Ricky Meese.
Delays in place southbound I-15 between Murray at 4500 south to about 90th south. Also starting to see a little bit of heavy and slow traffic northbound as you're transitioning from I-80 to go northbound on the West Belt. But we also have traffic impacted due to an earlier crash, Wasatch Boulevard at the mouth of Big Cottonwood Canyon. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
70s for a couple of days, then back to the 80s with more wind. I'm Matt Johnson.
Sunny, 67 degrees downtown. Time for KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. President Biden says his son's legal troubles have not and will not prevent him from supporting him.
I'm very proud of my son.
Hunter Biden has pleaded guilty to a pair of tax-related misdemeanors and a pretrial diversion agreement on a felony gun charge, and many Republicans aren't happy about it.
Speaker Kevin McCarthy vowing more Hunter Biden investigations, questioning why he could make a plea deal on serious charges and Donald Trump could not.
If you were the president's leading political opponent, the DOJ tries to literally put you in jail and give you prison time. If you are the president's son, you get a sweetheart deal.
In fact, it was a Donald Trump-appointed prosecutor who did the investigation leading to that plea bargain, and it was a grand jury, not the Justice Department, that indicted former President Trump. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
A search continues off the coast of Newfoundland for the Titan. The submersible with 5 people on board was heading to the wreckage of the Titanic.
It's going to depend on if the ROV finds something. It's going to depend on what they find.
Coast Guard Captain Jamie Frederick. A portion of I-95 in Philadelphia that collapsed last week will reopen this weekend. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro thanking the crews who have been working around the clock to get the job done.
The paving is going to require about a 12-hour sort of window of weather, and so depending upon when we get that started, we'll be able to give you a more precise time this weekend, but we're confident we'll hit this weekend.
There will be 3 new lanes in both directions until the permanent bridge is in place. Customs and Border Protection announcing a 25% decrease in apprehensions along the southern border from May 22 to May 23. This is the first reporting since the end of Title 42. Tropical storm Brett is chugging toward the eastern Caribbean as the region prepares for an unusually early storm with potentially torrential rains. You're listening to ABC News.
More now on Hunter Biden's plea deal. Joining me on the KSL Newsline is ABC News legal analyst Royal Oakes. Royal, thanks for being with me today.
Hey, my pleasure. Yeah, really a double-barreled deal for Hunter Biden, having to do with 2 totally discrete crimes. One, a tax issue. Apparently, he did not file his tax returns for 2017 and 18. The government says he made about $1.5 million those 2 years, and he didn't pay over $100,000 in taxes due. So that could have landed him in jail for 2 years, both misdemeanors for the 2 years, but instead this will be a plea deal, no jail time. Mm-hmm. And then the other issue has to do with guns. He, while he was addicted to cocaine by his own admission in 2018, he filled out a form saying, I'd like to buy a gun, and no, I'm not addicted to any controlled substance or illegal drug. And that was a lie, according to the government. And he could have gotten 10 years for that. But again, he'll get probation as long as he keeps his nose clean, literally and figuratively. No drugs in the next 2 years, no owning a gun the rest of his life. In that event, they will drop the charges against Hunter Biden.
So is this just the tip of the iceberg, or do you think this is all the legal troubles he's going to face?
Yeah, it's an intriguing question because Hunter Biden's lawyer issued a statement when this plea deal was announced saying, okay, the investigation is over. The U.S. attorney in Delaware fired back a message saying, no, we have an ongoing investigation. But the problem is we don't know what the U.S. attorney meant by that. Did he mean, well, we're going to make sure he doesn't take drugs in the next couple of years and he never buys a gun? Or did the U.S. attorney mean, well, everybody's been talking about, Ukraine and Burisma and bribes from China and Joe Biden being the big guy who was in the loop on Hunter's business deal when, in fact, Joe Biden has said he never discussed Hunter's business with him. All of these things are talking points the Republicans have been relying on for a few years, but they haven't been able to bring it home and actually create a criminal case. And the Department of Justice hasn't done it. We don't really know what they're doing behind the scenes. So we unfortunately have more questions than answers on that front.
All right, Royal, thanks so much for joining me today.
You bet.
Live on the KSL Newsline, that is ABC News legal analyst Royal Oakes. KSL News Time, just past 4:19. Traffic and weather is brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Here's Ricky Meese.
Southbound slowdowns are in place on I-15 between 3300 and 90th South. Westbound on the 21st South Freeway, that's getting bogged down from just after I-15 over to the West Belt and eastbound I-80. Also seeing heavy and slow traffic from Bangor Highway to I-215. Don't forget, we still have crews in place working the earlier accident near the mouth of Big Cottonwood Canyon on Wasatch Boulevard, about 6200 South. Mark?
You're okay today on SR 36. A little heavy traffic on the way down to Stansbury Park. Mountain View and Bangor are a bit lighter than normal, as is I-15 in Utah County. Earlier delays gone northbound up from Payson. And SR 92, a little something to remember, through 7 o'clock tonight is shut down. Rocky Mountain Power's doing a little bit of work at Canyon Road. Steve?
It looks like northbound 15 starting to fill in per usual. Got slowdowns from downtown up to the north interchange. In Davis County, southbound 15, a little busy there at 200 North in Kaysville, also at Shepherd Lane. More slowdowns on the west side belt, northbound 215 from I-80. And on the southbound side, starting at about 6 north. I-84, good to go. Legacy, no problems there. And same for Highway 89. Westbound 5600 south and Roy, a little busy there from I-15 out to 2700 west. From now through July, get triple rewards points on gas and travel with a Visa Platinum Rewards Card from Cyprus Credit Union. Visit cypresscu.com to learn more. Steve Carlson at the KSL Traffic Center.
Kevin Eubank here with the 7-day forecast. Kevin, yesterday it was really windy. Today it's a lot cooler than normal, but very pleasant.
It is pretty nice out there. So we're about 20 degrees cooler right now compared to where we were yesterday. We topped out at 91 yesterday. Today we're at 71 for the high. So just a little different. Compliments of a little overnight storm. Didn't do much. A couple of hundredths of an inch in Salt Lake City. Northern Utah towards Cache Valley picked up a quarter of an inch. So it was a little bit better there. Tonight, 52 degrees. That's well below our normal of 60. Tomorrow, 77, sunny, just a little below normal, and then partly cloudy skies Thursday, Friday. A weak little storm kind of tries to evolve over northern Utah. Chance for a few little mountain sprinkles, but otherwise just partly cloudy and warmer. We'll get back to the 80s for the end of the week and stay there through the weekend.
I thought it was funny. I got the water bill. It was like $20. I'm like, okay, let's see how long this lasts.
I was going to say, that's not a typical June water bill, is it?
Definitely not. All right. Thank you, Kevin.
You bet.
And the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
Disney Concerts and the Utah Symphony proudly present Star Wars: The Force Awakens in concert. Relive the action and adventure on the edge of your seat as the Utah Symphony performs John Williams' Oscar-winning music live in sync with the film. June 23rd and 24th at Marisa Brovnal Hall. Tickets are going fast. Get yours at utahsymphony.org. Don't miss Star Wars: The Force Awakens in concert. Picture this: a warm summer evening, the sun setting behind the mountains, blankets being laid out on the cool grass, and world-class music. It's the Utah Symphony's Deer Valley Music Festival, and you're invited to escape into the music with 12 concerts at Snow Park Amphitheater featuring country pop sensation Leanne Rimes, the movie music of John Williams, alt-rocker Ben Folds, and the Beach Boys. Tickets are on sale now at DeerValleyMusicFestival.org.
Advanced Window Products. From their factory to your front door in 8 weeks. Affordable windows guaranteed. 801-850-9100 or AdvancedWindowsUSA.com.
Any Hour Services can help unclog any drain in your house. Whether you have a backup, a clog, or a slow drain you want fixed. Call Any Hour Services or visit AnyHourServices.com.
What happens if you become too ill to make medical decisions on your own? Set aside time to designate a healthcare representative who can make future medical decisions for you should you become incapacitated. Put those wishes in writing by creating an advance directive. You can find advance directive forms in English and in Spanish at intermountainhealth.org/advance directives or in the Intermountain Patient Portal, My Health Plus, or on the Utah Council on Aging website. Brought to you by Intermountain Health and KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 425. We are watching Utah's money. With more and more white-collar employees working from home, investments in downtown locations have dwindled. Downtown-focused real estate sales are less than half of pre-pandemic levels. There are also lots of spaces to rent. Drug makers Merck and Bristol-Myers Squibb have joined the U.S. Chamber of Commerce to strike down Medicare's historic new powers to slash drug prices for seniors. The Inflation Reduction Act narrowly passed the House this year. Now it gives Medicare the power to receive much reduced pricing on medicines. The plaintiffs vow to take their case all the way to the Supreme Court if necessary. The nation's largest newspaper chain is suing Google, saying it has tried to corner the market for online advertising. Gannett publishes USA Today and more than 200 daily newspapers. It says Google has used ad technology to undercut pricing for printed papers, plus controls tools for buying and selling online ads. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 245 points. It closed at 34,054. S&P down by 20. The Nasdaq down 22 points. An adult woman apparently spent time posing as a student in several different Boston high schools.
Boston police and school officials are investigating a woman, apparently in her 30s, who used false names to enroll in 3 different city high schools this academic year. The probe was first reported by affiliate WCVB-TV. It says the investigation began after a man called and said he was withdrawing his daughter because she was being bullied, even though she enrolled at school less than a week earlier. That led school administrators to dig deeper, and there are no reports anyone was harmed by the woman. She's been ordered to stay away from school facilities. Brian Clark, ABC News.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun.
They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Boyd Matheson on the pitfalls of politics.
I think the biggest thing we all have to reject is the status quo. We have to reject the kind of politics that have been served up to us and that we've bought into. The biggest question for all of us is, what are we afraid of? And often what we're afraid of is losing power. Politicians often tell us, you can vote for whoever you want, but if you vote for someone other than me, you'll lose power, you'll lose influence. And we have to reject that. Our voting right is our most sacred and fundamental right. Vote for the best person, even if they're not in either political party. Some will try to convince you that's throwing your vote away and the evil, awful other side is going to win because of that. That's what they want you to believe. Because if you're functioning out of a position of fear, we all lose. You'll vote for the status quo, and that keeps the status quo in power.
Join Inside Sources with Boyd Matheson, 1 to 3 on KSL News Radio.
Removing the Bible may be just the beginning.
When the legislature passes a law to preclude certain conduct, sometimes it catches things that they never intended to catch.
In a case of unintended consequences.
This is actually something the majority of parents don't want to see.
Reporter Amy Kobabe goes cover to cover on the story. Battle of the Books, this week on KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time 429. Traffic and weather brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High Yield Savings Certificates. And here's Ricky Meese.
Slowdowns are waiting for you southbound on I-15 as you go from 3300 south into Sandy. Northbound I-15, some busy spots in Murray and South Salt Lake, but no real delay. Heavy and slow westbound on the 201 between I-15 and the West Belt. Also some slowing eastbound to I-80 from Bangor Highway to I-215. Mark?
Well, we got good KSL travel times on I-15. 10 minutes either direction between Lehigh and Provo. Earlier trouble at Payson on the northbound side has cleared, as have the delays. Rocky Mountain Power, don't forget, doing some utility work out SR 92, so it's closed at Canyon Road through 7. Mountain View and Bangor have normal delays out west. Steve.
Northbound 15 delays between downtown Salt Lake and the North 215 interchange right now, plus a new crash in Davis County, 650 North in Clearfield. That's right there on the right shoulder. Southbound 15 a little busy in Kaysville at 200 North and at Shepherd Lane. And northbound 215 delays on the West Belt from 5th South. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters now offers powder coating for your commercial or personal truck. Go to mountainlandtruck.com. That's MTNLNDtruck.com. Steve Carlson, the KSL Traffic Center.
Well, the overnight storm brought a little bit of rain, but it definitely brought the cool temperatures. Highs today have stopped in the low 70s, well below our normal of 86. Tonight, 52 for the low, 77 and sunny on Wednesday. Mid-80s return for Thursday, Friday under partly cloudy skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
You're listening to Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon. It's 4:30 at KSL. I'm Maria Shilaos, sitting in this week for Jeff Caplan. Sunny skies in downtown Salt Lake City right now, 67 degrees. KSL's top story this hour. Utah's Attorney General Sean Reyes has filed a lawsuit against the EPA over its ozone interstate transport rule. KSL News Radio's Tom Harrelson has the story.
Reyes says the new law that requires ozone emission levels to be monitored is redundant in a state that has dramatically decreased emissions on its own. He says the rules are a government overreach, calling Utah's approach reasonable and responsible. And he adds, in reality, keeping the lights on is the only option.
The lawsuit has the support of all of Utah's congressional delegation, as well as top state elected leaders. Industries that rely on migrant labor are still struggling to find labor, even though Title 42 was lifted over a month ago. KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricard Bell sat down with Governor Spencer Cox.
Does federal policy for immigration work? The governor of Utah doesn't think so.
It is frustrating because immigration under the Constitution is a federal issue. That's very clear. States have tried to step in and solve some of these.
10 years ago, Utah came up with its own immigration reform, but neither the Obama or Trump administration implemented it.
Republicans and Democrats supported it, and so I would love for the federal government to just dust off Utah's solution and try to implement something like that.
Apparently, this issue of labor shortages and immigration is sitting with Congress, but Governor Cox has his reservations.
I'm not holding my breath, though, when it comes to Congress and their ability to deal with a very complicated and controversial issue.
Hugo Ricard-Bell, KSL News Radio.
Fire danger is on the rise thanks to the high-speed winds. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
Wind can pick up embers from already lit fires, even small contained ones like campfires. The gusty wind can also dry out the environment, meaning grass and trees aren't benefiting from all the moisture from the rain.
Southern Utah is already seeing high fire danger this year despite the larger-than-average snowpack. There were 2 different rescues yesterday evening at Sand Hollow Reservoir. A spokesperson in the state park says one of the men fell 25 feet into the water. He was taken to the hospital by life flight. His current condition is unknown. Another young man was on the back of a watercraft and fell off. The driver didn't notice. 30 minutes later, he was rescued and reunited with this group. He was reportedly in and out of consciousness, but in the end decided not to be taken to the hospital. Our top national story this hour. Rescuers are racing against the clock to try to find the missing sub that was visiting the Titanic wreckage. If the group on board is alive, they could have about 40 hours of oxygen left.
If the 5 on board are alive and stuck underwater, it's not yet clear how a rescue would happen. It would be an unprecedented effort to get to them 13,000 feet down. The Coast Guard believes the 5 could have enough air to last until Thursday morning. Captain Jamie Frederick says they're moving equipment into place in case a rescue needs to unfold.
Some of the equipment that's coming is coming from the East Coast, but again, we're talking about very heavy equipment. It's a complicated transport operation.
And some will take a while to get there. So far, there have been no signs of the sub. Alex Stone, EBC News.
I-95 repairs in Pennsylvania are speeding along. Their governor, Josh Shapiro, said the portion of the highway that collapsed in Philadelphia last week will reopen this weekend.
The paving is going to require about a 12-hour sort of window of weather. And so depending upon when we get that started, we'll be able to give you a more precise time this weekend. But we're confident we'll hit this weekend.
There will be 3 new lanes going in both directions for drivers until the permanent bridge is back in place. Disability advocates are pushing Congress to pass new rules which could allow passengers to sit in their own wheelchairs on airplanes.
Lawmakers are already working on some significant reforms for disabled passengers. The FAA reauthorization bill includes better training for airline employees and holding them accountable when mistakes are made, as almost 900 chairs and scooters were damaged in January of this year alone. But allowing people to sit in their own chairs will probably be put on the back burner for now. Airline insiders say they would have to get rid of standard seats to fit wheelchair accessibility, resulting in lower revenues. Advocates tell news website Axios wheelchair users can roll into buses and trains. Should airplanes be any different? Heather Kelly, KSL News Radio.
12 new stores and completion dates been announced for the Salt Lakes Airport expansion. KSL News Radio's Adam Small reports.
This is the eastern expansion of Concourse B, which opened with a new terminal in 2020. The first few gates will open in 2024, with another few coming in 2025. Then in 2026, Phase 4 will expand Concourse B even further, which is when the entire project is set to be completed.
Now, some of the new stores coming in Phase 3 include a Freddy's Steak Burgers, a Cotopaxi, and Apple licensed ice store Express. Now, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is out with a new update on the construction of several local temples. The new Orem Temple will open the doors for an open house beginning in October. Provo Temple will also close for reconstruction in February next year, about a month after the Orem Temple is dedicated. First Look Traffic, here's Ricky Meese.
Right now, I'm looking at a live shot of emergency crews on the scene of this crash in Clearfield. They have blocked off the exit ramp from northbound I-15 at 650 North in Clearfield. This is a crash with injuries. There's also debris on the road, so plan on taking another exit if you need to get into Clearfield. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Coming up on Jeff Caplan's Afternoon News, we're going to hear Jeff's take on the latest diet trends. Jeff Caplan's Minute of News is next.
After I lost the 34 pounds on the SOTA weight loss program, SOTA stands for State of the Art, I noticed something that I hadn't expected to happen. I wasn't the only one in my family who started eating healthier. My kid, they say you only teach a kid 3 ways, example, example, example. I started eating healthier. I wasn't binging on entire bags of Cheetos. I wasn't binging on things of ice cream all the time. Now, if I want to have something, I have it, Tim. But I eat healthier. I eat smarter. And my kids follow what I do.
My daughter, who lost 42 pounds, specifically wanted me to send that message to the listeners that you don't have to give up everything you love. And they can do away with the hunger pains at the beginning of this process to the point where they're almost non-existent. Believe it or not, Soto weight loss can help you or somebody in your family. The average female 2 to 3 pounds every week. The average male 3 to 5 pounds. Find out for yourself. Go to SotaWeightLoss.com, spelled SOTA. Think Tim and Amanda. It is state of the art.
At Shane Company, we believe everybody is made to shine. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. Shining is not for a chosen few. Like a rare gemstone, each one of us was created under just the right set of circumstances. Your moments, your milestones, your love story, all deserve to shine bright. You don't need an occasion or an invitation. You and your life are the event. At Shane Company, we handcraft our jewelry with the greatest care and hand select the most beautiful gemstones so you can shine. So put on a pair of earrings that make your eyes sparkle. Wear diamonds that light up the room. Try on sapphires in every color of the rainbow. Give an heirloom that collects new stories with each generation. We're all made to shine. Shane Company, fine jewelry since 1929.
KSL News Time, 4:38.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. How's that diet doing? The one you began after the holidays. Did you do the Atkins diet? Maybe the paleo diet, where you eat like a caveman? Or perhaps you're a locavore, exclusively eating foods sourced locally. And there's a new one, Climatarians, buy foods based on their carbon footprint.
First, cut out beef.
Beef production is a huge user of energy and water.
To make just 1 quarter pounder, you will need 150 gallons of water.
For a climatarian, beef is bad, pork is okay, fruits and vegetables are eaten only in season because if the fruit has to be flown in from another country, importing it burns jet fuel, bad for the environment. Personally, I'm becoming a priceivore. That's where you eat whatever's cheapest. They used to call it scraping to make ends meet, but aren't we all? So as we skip the Lucky Charms and buy that Marshmallow Magic generic cereal, don't consider yourself cheap or struggling. Call yourself a priceivore. Suddenly you're okay because your diet reflects a guiding principle. Now, I made the term up, but if I'm honest, I am not really a true priceivore. My wife is the thrifty one who does the shopping. My guiding principle is get off my lawn, which makes me a what-do-you-mean-ivore. That's a guy who looks at the grocery receipt on the kitchen counter, sees that 6 bags are $200 and says, "What do you mean potato chips are $4.99? And after complaining, this is important. A what-do-you-mean-ivore eats every last chip and then complains that there's no dip. Only problem is, while the climatarians are saving the world, I gained 3 pounds this month.
Because I'm fat, fat, fat. Shimon.
How's your diet going?
Don't you call me pudgy, portly, or stout, just to tell me once again who's fat.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
Ricky Meese, I think Jeff did that minute of news just for me. Before he left on Thursday, he said, "Don't be mad." And I said, "What?" He said, I hit my goal weight for my vacation.
Oh, man. That's always hard, but yeah, I could tell his clothes were getting a little bit loose on him. So.
Yeah, but then he left behind the minute of news.
There we go, to rub it in our face.
Right. Traffic and weather is brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High Yield Savings Certificates. What's happening on the roads?
We do have an accident in Murray. It's on the exit ramp, the bottom of the ramp from southbound I-15 at 4500 South. But they're mostly in the Gore area, in between the left and right turns. But the ramp is really backed up. The main flow of southbound I-15 also seeing a slow drive from South Salt Lake to Sandy. Mark?
All the way filled in Lake Point to Stansbury Park. I'm afraid it didn't take long on SR 36 as you head southbound. Normal delays. Mountain View southbound at 4500 South. I-15 is in pretty good shape in Utah County, but we're just starting to get a little bit sluggish on both sides of the freeway around Pleasant Grove Boulevard. Steve.
What a difference today makes. Northbound 15 delays now from downtown up to the north interchange. Also with the 89 split past Lagoon. And a crash farther up. That's blocked off the off-ramp there at 650 North in Clearfield. Southbound I-15 a little busy there at 200 North in Kaysville. More slowdowns. Northbound 215 on the West Belt from 5th South. Legacy is slow and go as well between Woods Cross and Bountiful. Two Brothers Mattress, your locally owned Serta mattress dealer. Visit any Two Brothers Mattress location from Salt Lake to Orem. Find sale prices now at twobrothersmattress.com. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
Well, our cold front definitely did the job. Yesterday we were in the 90s. Today we're in the 70s. Tonight 52 and clear, 77 and sunny on Wednesday. Beautiful day, just a little cooler than normal. Mid-80s return for Thursday into Friday, but partly cloudy skies. Sunshine returns for the weekend with temperatures in the low to mid-80s. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
And right now, sunny, 70 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. And still to come on Jeff Caplan's Afternoon News, we're going to take you to the convention of the National Insulator Association. And the reason we're going to do so is you may actually have some antique glass at your house that's worth some money. You're going to want to stay with us right here on KSL News Radio.
Hey, this is Dan, the laptop man from PC Laptops. A lot of customers have been calling us mentioning that their old version of Windows is asking them to upgrade to Windows 11. It's super important to be running Windows 11 on any PC for performance and security. If you're running some of the older versions of Windows, you could be open to hackers, viruses, spyware, and all kinds of insane, evil things. Just bring in your PC, no matter what brand it is, into PC Laptops right now, and we can verify if your computer is Windows 11 ready. If it's not ready, we might be able to upgrade it for you or just take it on trade-in. We also will scan your computer for viruses and other bad things. We'll also give it a physical cleaning, absolutely free. So get into PC Laptops right now and go to PCLaptops.com. That's PCLaptops.com. Lots of love at PCLaptops.com.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors to tell you about our 10-year everything guarantee. Most contractors spout off having great warranties that last forever. But those warranties are always, and I do mean always, riddled with loopholes, exception, fine print, and nonsense. At RGS Exteriors, we cover everything. Parts, labor, material, everything and anything for 10 full years. There's no cost to you whatsoever. No hoops to jump through, no exceptions. Yes, the products we sell, like James Hardy Siding, our windows, gutter covers, come with a 25 to 50-year manufacturer's warranty, just like everybody else. But the truth is, the products almost never fail. It's always the labor and material which is never covered, so you're stuck paying for service calls. For peace of mind, call RGS Exteriors. You'll sleep easy for 10 full years. 801-280-3110 or visit us at rgsutah.com. That's 801-280-3110 or online rgsutah.com. Gutters, siding, windows, and all exteriors with a 10-year everything guarantee.
KSL News Time, 445. The three things you need to know this hour first.
Governor Spencer Cox says it's about time immigration becomes a state-run issue, which would help with labour shortages across Utah. I'm KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricard-Bell.
Second, a KSL investigation finds that most school districts have received 0 book challenges, even as others are getting long lists of challenges from a small group of parents. Third, traffic and weather together, beginning with Ricky Meese.
A crash with injuries in Clearfield has blocked the exit ramp from northbound I-15 at 650 North. In Salt Lake County, you're going to see delays setting in for northbound traffic from South Salt Lake all the way to the North Interchange. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Sunny skies this afternoon, but temperatures stay a bit cool. I'm Kevin Eubank.
68 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. Now KSL's top national stories from ABC News.
A search and rescue effort about the size of Connecticut is underway for the Titan. The submersible carrying 5 people went missing as it headed to the wreckage of the Titanic. President Biden's son, Hunter, has agreed to plead guilty to a pair of tax-related misdemeanors. In exchange, prosecutors would recommend probation. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
If you were the president's leading political opponent, the DOJ tries to literally
put you in jail and give you prison time. If you are the president's son, you get a sweetheart deal.
Hunter Biden has also agreed to a pre-trial diversion agreement on a felony gun charge. Thousands of customers in Jackson, Mississippi are still without power following days of storms. Cooling centers being opened for residents and those who live nearby.
We look forward to supporting other cities if they need support in this way and demonstrating how we've been able to stand up these services.
That's the city's mayor, Chokwe Antar Lumumba. Could be a stormy last night of spring across the south. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Time for the KSL In-Depth. Thousands of them once sat on telephone, telegraph, and power poles. Most were thrown away, but maybe your relatives left you one. KSL News Radio's Brian Champagne takes you to the National Insulator Association convention to see what historic glass you could buy or sell.
The deep blues, royal blues, peacock blues, and then the purples.
Some are quite pretty.
Yellows and greens, it's the whole variation, the spectrum of the rainbow.
Some are pretty historic.
You'll have collectors from the Civil War era, the Transcontinental Railroad.
And some are pretty expensive.
They could be worth anywhere from 25 cents to $50,000 or $60,000.
What?
I've seen them sell for that.
They are glass and porcelain insulators.
Most folks don't know, but as soon as you say there are those things out there on the power pole, or what used to be, then they start to get curious.
That's Don Briel from Providence.
I started collecting back in about 1990.
He's one of the hosts of the National Insulator Association's convention held in Logan this month.
The majority of collectors collect a specific type of insulator.
Brian Weiss is the other host.
Including telegraph, telephone, and power insulators across the United States, usually 100 years older or more.
Colin Jung,
I've always considered myself a little bit of an odd duck,
is an NIA member from Northern California.
I do make some money on it, but I feed it right back into my collecting.
He can tell you within months when your insulator was made. Weiss says when better wiring came out, the colorful glass caps no bigger than a coffee mug became industrial waste.
These things were buried, and today there's people here that their hobby is digging out landfills and finding things that have long been forgotten.
They display them in their homes, light up their colors, and create paintings of them.
They are just a really attractive token of an incredible history of electrical and electronics.
I love it.
We started with Kathy Weiss, who already has those colors she listed.
But then there's different shapes in each color.
The hobby brings the couple together.
It's addictive and you just want to collect more and more.
Brian Champagne.
It's just fun.
KSL News Radio.
Glass insulators, the most common used, are worth about $20 a piece for collectors. Now, the earliest ones were made starting in 1895. Production largely ended in 2011, though those collections live on. KSL News Time, 4:49. Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. Here's Ricky Meese.
Southbound I-15 delays go from 3300 south into Sandy, and northbound I-15 slowdowns start about 3500 south to 6 south downtown. Now starting to see heavy and slow traffic both sides of I-215 South Belt, making the way to the I-15 junction, and the 201 stacked up and slow westbound between I-15 to the West Belt and again at 5600 West. Mark?
Well, it looks like we have spied some trouble on I-15 in Utah County. In fact, it just pulled away northbound to I-15, but for a minute or so it was blocking all lanes. This is northbound I-15 just after 200 South Geneva Road, Linden area. So that's getting some long backups, and because that was on the northbound side, the southbound side is heavy coming down Pleasant Grove Boulevard as well. Steve.
Northbound 15 delays right now between downtown Salt Lake and North Salt Lake. Plus Davis County slowdowns at the 89 split by Lagoon. Plus a crash farther north in Clearfield. That's blocking the off-ramp at 650 north with delays at Antelope Drive. Southbound 15 busy at 200 north in Kaysville. And northbound 215 pretty packed in on the West Belt right now from 5th South. And southbound 215 on the West Side Belt bogged down at 1700 north. And you have delays on northbound Legacy, Woods Cross to Bountiful. It's the summer tour sales event at Murdoch Hyundai. Receive 0% for 3 years on a new Tucson or Santa Fe. Murdoch Hyundai in Logan, Linden, Murray, or online at murdochhyundai.com. Steve Carlson at the KSL Traffic Center.
Well, the KSL 7-day forecast starts off on the cool side. Temperatures today in the low 70s, and we're going to do that again on Wednesday. Temperatures stay in the 70s under sunny skies. Partly cloudy conditions return for Thursday, Friday, as temperatures stay into the low to mid 80s. We'll get a little warmer as we head through the weekend. Low to mid 80s and sunshine Saturday, Sunday. Upper 80s to low 90s to start next week. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
Sunny, 68 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City, and the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
The biggest RV show in the region is growing. The Utah Summer RV Palooza is back and bringing the heat to Sandy, June 22nd through the 24th. For 3 days only, the shops at Southtown will be packed with the largest selection of new and used RVs in the region. Shop brands like Ember, Forest River, Northwood, and more. You'll even find the hard-to-get Go Play 26BH bunkhouse travel trailer at a sales price of only $19,995. But that's not all the summer savings we're serving up. Save up to 20% below cost on select new 2022 RVs. Yeah, up to 20% under cost. We're also offering 90 days no payments on approved credit for all play and no pay until September. Plus, right now, we'll trade anything. Bring your trade to the show and we'll hook you up. Don't miss your chance to enter to win a brand new $30,000 RV. No purchase necessary. See rules for details. All during the Utah Summer RV Palooza in Sandy. Only June 22nd through the 24th at the shops at Southtown. Sponsored by Bish's RV.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first.
So wait. You do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility is. So we take the time to really get to know them.
Get to know them how?
We make sure we understand their unique goals, finances, health, family, and lifestyle, so we can tailor their portfolio to their specific needs. Our goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility. You must make big commissions then, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
If you see news or a traffic trouble spot, make sure you let us know. If you can text us safely at the Cypress Credit Union text line at 57500. KSL News Time 4:55, watching Utah's money. Delta has been named the best airline in North America at the Skytrax World Airline Awards. Now, it's the third straight year Delta has won the award. The award was determined by customer surveys. Bed Bath & Beyond, which filed for bankruptcy this year, plans to hold a separate sale for Bye Bye Baby assets. The company will move forward with the auction for its BB&B assets, but hopes to keep Bye Bye Baby stores open depending on how that auction goes. Domino's Pizza may deliver to your favorite beach or park soon. The company is rolling out a new technology nationwide that allows customers to receive a delivery almost anywhere. Now, the pinpoint delivery rollout has scored well in test marketing, and Domino's will make that feature available for the first time in U.S. markets. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 245 points. It closed at 34,054. S&P down by 20. The Nasdaq down 22 points.
What grows in the forest? Trees? Sure. Know what else grows in the forest? Our imagination, our sense of wonder, and our family bonds grow too. Because when we disconnect from this and connect with this, we reconnect with each other and build family memories we will carry with us forever. The forest is closer than you think. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. It's easy. Just put in your zip code to find family-friendly outdoor destinations near you. You'll also find guides to free activities, games, and amazing forest facts. Give the magic of the outdoors to your kids and reconnect with your family. Find a forest near you at discovertheforest.org. That's discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Sure, humans can be a little weird at times, but take it from me, I'm a dog. And a person is about the best thing that can happen to a shelter pet. So if you want to learn how you can be that person, get down to your local pet shelter or visit theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Jeff Caplan. I'm originally from New Jersey. It's a little different than Utah. Oh, okay. It's a lot different than Utah. You understand what I'm saying here? I first came here on a date. I had an employee who lived in Utah, and I said, that girl, I think I'm going to meet her, and it's tax deductible. I never left. I've never left. I've been here for going on 15 years now, and we've been married for 12. I've been around the block in the radio business. I've worked for a lot of major companies. There are none with the commitment to the community that I found at KSL. There are none with the camaraderie of the staff that I found at KSL. And there are none with the commitment of management and the company to the safety, the health, the welfare of their staff. And I just love this place.
Ride Home with Jeff Caplan, weekdays 3 to 7 on KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 4:59. Traffic and weather brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High Yield Savings Certificates. What's happening, Ricky?
A KSL traffic trooper reporting part of the delays that we have on the 201 going westbound is due to a stalled vehicle right before the I-215 junction. It had been in the middle lane. Southbounders on I-15 slowdowns will continue from South Salt Lake to Sandy. And if you're making your way northbound on I-15, it is bogged down from about 3500 south to 6 south. Mark?
Yeah, it's filled in Lake Point to Stansbury Park already on SR 36. You got southbound Mountain View delays through West Valley and Daybreak, concentrating on Bangerter delays southbound closer to 9800 south. Got delays in both directions on I-15 between American Fork and Orem. Steve.
And a slow ride northbound 15. Got delays from 9 south up to the North 215 interchange and to Davis County there at Park Lane in Farmington. Another crash farther up north. That's blocking the off-ramp at 650 north in Clearfield. Got delays in Antelope Drive. Southbound 15 a little busy as well at 200 north in Kaysville. And delays on the 215 westbound northbound from 9 south. Southbound delays from 1700 north. And delays on Legacy. Woods Cross to Bountiful. Enjoy low-maintenance, single-level, luxury living planned community. Access to golf, pickleball, and open trails. Nilsson Homes in Davis-Weber County. Visit nilsonhomes.com, nilssonhomes.com. Steve Carlson at the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. Listen on the KSL News Radio app and in your car at 102.7 FM. KSL News Radio, your all-day companion for news.
Good afternoon. This is the 5 o'clock report. 20 minutes of uninterrupted news, commercial-free. I'm Maria Shilaos, sitting in today for Jeff Caplan. KSL's top story. Hundreds of books and schools are being pulled throughout the state, but it's only because of a handful of complaints. KSL has been investigating how the numbers stack up at each school district. We have team coverage, Battle of the Books, beginning with KSL News Radio's Amy Kobe. Amy?
Maria, we sent grammar requests to every single school district in the state. We asked them for three things. First, what is their policy for actually deciding what books stay and what books go when they receive challenges? Second, how many challenges or complaints have they received? And lastly, how many books have been taken off of shelves? So here's what we found out. Most school districts have not received a single challenge. That includes the Salt Lake City School District, but also Weber and some more rural districts. But then you can have districts like Davis with 129 challenges and 39 removed. Then Granite, 94 books have been challenged and 23 removed. Spokesperson Ben Horsley says before Utah's new law passed last year, they actually had a lot fewer challenges.
I want to be clear, those 96 challenges came from 6 individuals. And so while we've been fairly open about wanting to protect kids, we've accepted those challenges. The overwhelming majority of them have come from one individual.
Ben there says that they received 94 challenged, or he said 96, but the numbers they sent us said 94, so that's the discrepancy there. Garrick Peterson with the Wasatch School District tells us that they've also received a huge number of challenges from just one single person.
I think our main concern is that we have books that are appropriate for our kids.
Experts in children's literature worry the standards set by the new state law are too subjective and aren't being applied consistently. Our team coverage, the Battle of the Books, continues with KSL News Radio's Becky Bruce.
As part of our investigation, KSL sat down with Peter Bromberg, a librarian and the associate director of an organization called Every Library.
There's a very small number of people who are activated to make a high number of challenges of materials in Utah schools and libraries as well as across the country.
He has a number of concerns with the law and the way it's applied, among them that it's too easy to disagree on what the standards mean.
There's always going to be some subjectivity to it.
Also, that the approach fails to consider the book in its entirety.
That sensitive materials law, the way it's being applied, is avoiding what is called the taken as a whole approach. And you may also know the SLAP standard, which is, does it have serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value?
Bromberg says that's why sometimes books for teens cover tough topics, but should stay on the shelf.
A few raindrops don't make a thunderstorm, a few snowflakes don't make an avalanche. A portrayal of a sexual assault in a book, again, not on an elementary school shelf, on a high school shelf, doesn't make it pornography.
Becky Bruce, KSL News Radio.
We'll have the full breakdown of the numbers with a searchable graphic on our website, kslnewsradio.com. We're working on getting that published right now. We'll also have a full report on KSL TV. We worked very tightly with them on this report, so tune in tonight at 10 o'clock with Daniela Rivera with that report. Reporting live, Amy Kobe, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story this hour. Hunter Biden has reached a plea deal with the Justice Department. He has pled to 2 misdemeanor tax charges, pled guilty to them, and entered a diversion program on a felony gun charge. ABC's chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams, says that they were technical violations and the punishments are in line with the crimes.
I think it was always clear that Hunter Biden had not paid taxes for a couple of years. It was always clear that Hunter Biden had not been honest about drug addiction on a gun form. The question was, once you pay the money back, do you still get charged criminally? And on the gun form, do people really get charged just for that violation with nothing else?
U.S. Attorney David Weiss signed off on the deal. He was appointed by former President Trump. Top Republicans have a lot to say about this deal.
Republicans are slamming Hunter Biden's plea agreement, which will likely allow him to avoid prison time. Former President Trump compared it to a traffic ticket. And here's Senator Lindsey Graham.
The questions that a lot of people have on our side, is this a sweetheart deal? Why did it take 5 years to come up with these charges?
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says the plea deal shows there's a two-tiered justice system and says Congress will continue investigating Hunter Biden. McCarthy dodging questions about the U.S. attorney on the case, who is a Trump appointee. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Washington.
Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes has filed a lawsuit against the Environmental Protection Agency over its recently released ozone interstate transport rule. Reyes was joined by state and federal elected officials in fighting the Biden administration plan to regulate ozone emissions for power plants, saying it could force early closures of some of Utah's plants. KSL News Time, 5:05. Time for First Look Traffic on the 5 o'clock report. Here's Ricky Meese.
We have a crash now westbound on the 21st South Freeway just after Redwood Road. That right lane is blocked to traffic. It's adding to the delays that are reaching back to the I-15 junction. In Davis and Weber counties, delays, and part of it is due to a crash on the exit ramp from northbound I-15 at 650 North in Clearfield. Looks like they're getting ready to at least open up one lane of traffic on that ramp. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 5:06. Utah Jazz games will be available free on broadcast TV next season. KSL Sports reports the Jazz have made a deal with the owners of KJazz Channel 14. In an interview with KSL's Hans and Scotty back in March, Jazz owner Ryan Smith said that that's been his goal.
I want every single Jazz fan, no matter where they are in the state and beyond, to be able to watch our games in any format that they want to.
The Jazz will also have a paid streaming app on their website for fans who want to watch the games online. Researchers are trying to learn more about the link between contact sports like football and long-term brain injuries.
CTE, or chronic traumatic encephalopathy, is a degenerative brain condition linked to a host of problems ranging from memory loss to suicidal behavior. Research has established a link between head trauma and CTE, which cannot be diagnosed until after death. A new study from the journal Nature looked at 20 years' worth of data studying over 600 former football players and found the most effective prediction method is not a diagnosed concussion, but the total amount of force to the head absorbed in a career. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Crickets, millions of them, are making a mess in several states.
It's an invasion.
They just keep coming and coming and coming.
Doug Roselle in Elko, Nevada, in the northeastern part of the state, trying to fight back wave after wave of crickets.
Probably a week and a half ago, the Mormon crickets have invaded this area of Elko, and we've kind of let them go for the past week. Just kind of let them take their course, hoping they would move on and die, but they haven't.
Resorting to sweeping or vacuuming them up. Millions of the crickets hatching after spring floods and ravenous.
They just eat because they eat everything. Anything in their path, they'll eat, including each other.
Jeremiah Moore, who also lives in the area, says they're all over everything, homes, yards, and roads.
Once they start to get real squished on the road, it's almost like an oil slick. I actually, at this intersection, was coming home, and as I came around the corner, I came around a little too fast, and I about ended up in the ditch full of water.
Ooh, Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Ooh, that's right. KSL News Time, 5:08.
This is My Minute of News, brought to you by Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air, anyhourservices.com. I'm sure you have a favorite viral video, whether it's a cat on a surfboard or somebody pulverizing an iPhone with a hammer. Whatever it is, you can thank Vinny Liccardi. Back in 1997, Vinny was a portly 40-something guy working in an office cubicle. He was on an old-fashioned computer, and something must have set him off. Captured on an office security camera, he smashes the giant old-fashioned computer. He punches the keyboard. He throws the computer. He kicks the 30-pound monitor across the floor. He's having a meltdown, and it was the first ever viral video. Except it wasn't even called that back then. It was just emailed from person to person, and turns out it was faked. You look close enough, you notice the computer isn't plugged in. Vinny is kind of smiling, but Vinny was onto something. These days, you have Lauri Vohensilta. This guy in Finland works in a metal shop and decided to put the 150-ton hydraulic press to work, smashing things.
Here we have our toilet paper.
He compressed a roll of toilet paper so completely it became bulletproof.
Whoa.
For tricks like this, the Wall Street Journal says Mr. Silta is making $650,000 a year from YouTube. $650,000. So naturally now there are imitators who do things like sand the face off Thomas the Tank Engine with a belt sander, shred ukuleles into confetti, but they all owe a debt of gratitude to Vinnie Lombardi, a pioneer who didn't make a single cent beating up his computer.
Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News, only on KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time 5:09. Traffic and weather is brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High Yield Savings Certificates. Let's find out what's happening with Ricky Meese.
We have a right lane blocked with an accident westbound on the 21st South Freeway just after Redwood Road and right before you get to the West Belt. And that is adding to the stop-and-go delays that are reaching back to I-15. And by I-15, I mean the transition ramps from both north and southbound to go to the 21st South Freeway. Southbounders on I-15, delays are in place from 1300 South, pretty solid, to Sandy at 106 South. A little bit of heavy traffic in Draper. Northbound I-15 bogged down from 3300 South to the 6 South exit downtown, and I-215 South Belt seeing heavy and slow delays either direction trying to get to the I-15 junction. Mark?
It's been rough on I-15 in Utah County. We had all lanes shut down for a time northbound just after Geneva Road to clear a wreck. Now all lanes are open, but north and southbound delays very heavy. Down from American Fork, up from Orem. SR-36 again with the heavy delays Lake Point to Stansbury Park. Softly slow on Mountain View through West Valley and Bangerter, southbound around 9800 South. Steve?
Well, looks like we have northbound 15 delays continuing right now between 9th South and downtown up to the north 215 interchange. Also in Davis County at Park Lane in Farmington, got that crash in the clearing stages, still blocking part of the off-ramp at 650 North in Clearfield. Plan on those backups at the Layton Hills Mall. Delays on the 215 West Belt, northbound from 9 South and southbound from 1700 North. Looks like southbound Foothills still sluggish. Sunny side out to 21st South in spots. Gillette Heating and Air Conditioning is offering spring air conditioner tune-ups for only $59. Call 801-825-4500 today to schedule a Carrier Factory authorized dealer. Steve Carlson at the KSL Traffic Center.
As we head through the 5 o'clock hour, temperatures in the low 70s under sunny skies will stay there for 6 and 7 o'clock, upper 60s for 8, mid 60s for 9, with low 60s for 10 under clear skies. Ultimate lows will be in the low 50s. With your hourly forecast on the 5 o'clock report, I'm Kevin Eubank.
And right now in downtown Salt Lake City, very nice 68 degrees. We do have breaking news on KSL News Radio. KSL News Radio's Amy Kobabe joins me live in studio. You've been talking about book bans all afternoon, and now you have some news for us on one of those bans.
Yes, the ban that's made the biggest headlines recently is in Davis School District, where they decided a couple of weeks ago to pull the Bible from elementary and junior high schools. We've just received word from the school district that they have now reversed that decision. And so the decision went to the board. It was under an appeal. They took it from elementary, junior high. Now they say they will put it back on school shelves at all school levels. And remember, this decision was about vulgarity and violence. And so we knew it was under appeal. This was a possibility, but we still have a lot of questions about, maybe why did they feel it was appropriate to put it back on the shelves when they had a full committee that decided against that.
All right. We'll bring people more information as we get it. Thanks, Amy. KSL News Time 5:13. Utah's eviction numbers are up this year, but not much higher than pre-pandemic levels. KSL News Radio's Alessandra Harris has details.
Nearly 3,000 eviction cases were filed in the first 4 months of this year. That's higher than it's been the past few years, and many researchers say the main cause is that there are no more pandemic rental relief funds. But with the addition of 20,000 more rental properties, the estimated eviction rate at the end of this year will only be 2.3%, which is the same as the eviction rate in 2019 and lower than it was in 2018 and 2017.
Utah's eviction rate is 9th lowest in the nation and isn't expected to rise significantly anytime soon. The man accused of hitting singer Bibi Rexha in the head has been released without bail. Now, Rexha was on stage in New York City Sunday night and asked the crowd to put their phones away to avoid distractions. Second later, a phone strikes her in the head. ABC's Andrew Dimbert reports that the singer later posted an update on Instagram.
I'm good, yeah, I'm feeling all right.
27-year-old Nicholas Malvagna has been charged with assault for allegedly throwing the phone. According to a court document, Malvagna told someone he tried to hit Rexa with the phone because he thought it would be funny.
It looked like he was proud of it. He raised his hand.
It's the latest example of fans behaving badly at concerts. Harry Styles was allegedly hit in the eye with Skittles at a show in L.A.
And Rexa is scheduled to perform in Philadelphia tonight. Lionel Messi will make his MLS debut. He's expected to play with Inter Miami at a July 21st home game. Owner Jorge Mas told selected outlets on Monday that his club and Messi have agreed to terms and are finalizing paperwork and a visa. The Associated Press reports Messi will be signing a contract through the end of 2025 with an option for 2026. KSL News Time, 5:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
leaders of the Salt Lake Airport have announced the stores and completion dates for Phase 3 of the airport expansion. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, Rio Tinto plans to invest almost $1 billion in Kennecott's operations here in Utah. Third, traffic and weather together. Let's begin with Ricky Meese.
Salt Lake City PD has responded to an accident at Redwood Road and 4th South. Traffic is able to now take that exit from northbound I-15 at 650 North. The left lane is open to traffic. Most of the vehicles involved in the crash are over to the right shoulder. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Sunshine and cooler temperatures for the next day or so, then a warm-up arrives. I'm Kevin Eubank.
Sunny and 68 degrees downtown. Time for KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. A race against the clock on the high seas. An expanding armada of ships and airplanes is searching in the North Atlantic for the Titan. The submersible with 5 people on board went missing as it headed to the wreck of the Titanic. But the craft's safety had been questioned in the past.
In a lawsuit reviewed by ABC News, a former Ocean Gate employee claims the company was warned in 2018 about safety issues with the now missing submersible and that it should not have been diving to such depths. The former employee says he was fired for warning that after repeated pressurization of the craft, the carbon fiber material could develop large rips that would go undetected, and that he warned scans were needed to check for issues, but that he was told by the company the material was too thick to scan. He claimed he was fired for raising safety issues. The case was settled out of court. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Republican reaction to Hunter Biden's plea deal on tax-related charges. Congressman James Comer, chair of the House Oversight Committee.
I don't know why it took 7 years to come up with a plea deal, but regardless, the very last line says this investigation is ongoing.
And President Biden's son will plead guilty to 2 misdemeanors. He's also entered a pretrial diversion agreement, which allows him to avoid a felony gun charge. A heat wave is gripping parts of the South in triple-digit temperatures. A power grid operator in Texas asking residents to voluntarily cut back on electricity due to the anticipated record demand on the system. Power is still out to thousands of customers in Jackson, Mississippi, after days of strong storms.
We understand that residents are frustrated. We understand that residents are dealing with the heat, and that's why we're providing these cooling centers. And we know that residents have had to dispose of a number of perishable items.
The city's mayor says those centers are also open to residents of neighboring communities. You're listening to ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth.
Battle of the Books. Special coverage on KSL News Radio.
Today we are bringing you the results of a joint KSL TV and radio investigation into book challenges under a new state law. Peter Bromberg is the associate director of an organization called Every Library. Now, he says the books in your school library have already gone through a rigorous process.
These books have already been vetted through multiple layers. They've been published. Publishers say these are appropriate for these ages. They have gone through review processes of multiple professional journals and review sources. And then librarians who have been professionally trained and licensed by the state of Utah to make these decisions, then look at state education standards, they look at local policies that have been passed by their board, and they also look at who are the students in my school that are coming into the library and what are their needs educationally, socially, et cetera. And then they're going to take this very relatively small amount of money they have to spend on materials, and they're going to, again, look at those policies, those reviews, those standards, that student body, and purchase a book for the shelf. So these books are not in any way not age. I mean, they are age appropriate, and they are appropriate to the developmental and educational needs of the students.
There is a lot more to our investigation. We're working to bring you details on our website, kslnewsradio.com. There will also be a full report tonight on KSL 5 News at 10. And we just broke that the Davis School District has voted to put the Bible back on library shelves. We will continue to bring you more details on that throughout the evening. KSL News Time, 5:19. Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union's High Yield Savings Certificates. And here's Ricky Meese.
Pretty rough drive on the 201 tonight. We have an accident just after Redwood Road and before the West Belt. It's partially sticking out in that right lane, and that's what's causing those stop-and-go delays back to the main flow of I-15, as well as the transition ramps from north and southbound I-15 to go to the 201. Southbounders on I-15 delays 1300 south, really all the way into Draper. Northbound I-15 bogged down 33rd south to 6 south downtown, and delays westbound I-215 south belt from Highland Drive over to I-15. Mark?
It's pretty bogged down Lake Point to Stansbury Park as well again today on SR 36. It has been rough on Mountain View and Bangor into, through, and out of West Valley. Bangor slows again southbound at 9800 south. And I-15 in Utah County has been very rough. Lehigh down past Pleasant Grove Boulevard, and then northbound Orem up to American Fork State Street. Steve.
Northbound 15 delays between 21st South and the North 215 interchange. You got more slowdowns in Davis County. Really packed in now from Kaysville up to Clearfield, where we had that earlier off-ramp closed at 650 North in Clearfield. Delays on the 215 West Belt, northbound from 9 South and southbound from 1700 North. Northbound 89 busy now at Main Street in Kaysville, also farther up at SR 193. Southbound Foothill Drive sluggish in spots between Mario Capecchi Drive and 21st South. Save with Burt Brothers on brand name tires, up to $150 off select Goodyear tires, up to $140 off select Bridgestone tires, and $130 off select Firestone tires. Burt Brothers, complete auto care done better. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
The KSL 7-day forecast starts off a little cool, but it ends off on the warm side. Tonight, 52 for the low, 77 and sunny on our Wednesday. Partly cloudy skies move in for Thursday, Friday, temperatures in the low to mid-80s, then back to sunshine for the weekend and the first of next week. Temperatures get to the upper 80s and low 90s by Sunday, Monday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
Sunny and 68 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. And the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. KSL News Time, 522.
Speaking on business. Small businesses are the heart of our community, and each has its own story to tell. Women's Business Center of Utah 2019 Entrepreneur of the Year, founder of Chosen Creative and the Utah Letter Writing Club, Camilla Johnson, shares more about her story.
I believe in the power of the pen and the impact that the written word has on our society. So in 2017, I launched Chosen Creative Stationery. Each card, wall art, or product is created with the message of empowerment and strength, because sometimes you just need a reminder to keep going. Trauma is a given. If you live on this earth long enough, you will have letdowns, breakups, disappointments, and setbacks. However, this is where my products come in. Each one uplifts and builds healthy mindsets and a better way of looking at life. Then in 2018, I started the Utah Letter Writing Club, which brings the Utah community around a table to write letters of hope, love, and encouragement to the world. We are the only club in Utah of its kind and are listed on the Global Correspondence Society directory for letter writing clubs. Both businesses work together in unison to build our community up.
Chosen Creative and the Utah Letter Writing Club are small businesses making an impact on our community and state. For more information, visit the Chosen Creative website. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
With our roots in northern Utah, Holy Cross Hospital has a legacy of caring to help every person be whole and healthy. Find us at 5 Holy Cross Hospital locations and more than 45 clinics along the Wasatch Front. Learn more at holycrossutah.org.
At Holy Cross Hospital, we're honored to carry the legacy of our namesake and equally honored to care for northern Utah's vibrant communities. Find us at 5 Holy Cross Hospital locations and more than 45 clinics along the Wasatch Front. Learn more at holycrossutah.org.
Troy, I want to spoil the crud out of our amazing customers during Bish's RV Customer Appreciation Month.
Oh, I'm with you. We're throwing the biggest customer appreciation sale in our history.
Okay, this should be good.
For starters, employee pricing is back on select RVs. Go to bishes.com and click the Get Lowest Price button.
Stop! Cut the music.
What the heck?
You're leading with employee employee pricing? You gotta save your best for last, not first.
Can I just get back to the sale?
Just saying. Hit it, guys.
On top of employee pricing on select RVs, we're giving you 90 days no payments for all play and no pay OAC.
That's good too.
And no reasonable offer will be refused on remaining 2022s.
Whoa.
Plus, we'll trade anything. Just ask.
But the music.
What now?
Sorry, just feeling a little power hungry.
Is that it?
Yep, you're doing great. Hit it, guys.
Get employee pricing, 90 days no payments OAC, amazing trade value, and more during Customer Appreciation Month at Bish's RV in North Salt Lake and our new location in American Fork. Bish's RV, where memories begin.
KSL News Time, 5:25. We are watching Utah's money. New home building surged in May in the U.S. by the most in over 3 decades. The 291,000 unit increase in starts was the most since January 1990. The 21% increase was the largest gain since 2016. A new resort is coming to Midway called Amiyali. Developers are selling 1/8 shares for $310,000. Once the sales are completed, the resort will include a boutique hotel, restaurant, and a wellness center. The Cadillac Escalade IQ, which will debut on August 9th, is the newest EV in the Caddy family. It will use the same GM battery technology as other EV models in that line. Now, there's not been a price listed yet for this new model. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 245 points. It closed at 34,054. S&P was down by 20. The NASDAQ down by 22 points. The electric vehicle market is shaking up brand loyalty.
A new survey from Edmunds finds that 85% of car buyers shopping for an EV are open to buying one from a brand they've never owned before. Edmunds sales data finds in the first quarter of this year, more than 6 in 10 trade-ins for EVs were from a different car company. In general, market share for EVs is small, about 6.7% as of last month, but it's growing. That figure was 5.3% in May of last year. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
Kind of a quiz. On the one hand, you have a local company that employs Utahns. They build a better, high-quality product, and they do it at a lower price point. So do you call them when you need replacement windows? You're right. You get an A on the quiz. That's A for Advanced Window Products. They create magnificent custom window frames right here in Salt Lake City, any size, style, or color. Get the latest security features to keep your family safe. And of course, their state-of-the-art double-pane windows will help cut your energy bill. The most important at Advanced Window Products, they build the windows, they install your windows, and they guarantee them for life. And they do it all right here in Utah for 37 years. Advanced Window Products offers 60 months, 0% financing, so there's no reason to wait. Call Advanced Window Products and get $2,000 off 10 windows or more. 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. Or visit AdvancedWindowsUSA.com.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Right on cue for summer.
OPEC plans to cut oil production.
Gas prices are headed up.
But people say they are not calling off their trips.
Whether you're planning a staycation or a day trip, start your summer here. Get updates on traffic out of town, gas prices, and everything you need to know. Listen each day this summer, mornings and afternoons, to KSL News Radio.
KSL News Time, 5:29. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Granite Credit Union's high-yield savings certificates. What's happening, Ricky?
Delays southbound I-15, 1300 south to Draper. And we also have some unusual delays westbound I-80 near the quarry. If you're traveling the 21st South Freeway, we still have an accident westbound just after Redwood Road, and that's been causing stop-and-go delays back to I-15. Mark?
It's been a little bit rough on SR 36 to Stansbury Park, especially rough Bangerter southbound at 9800 South Redwood Road, heavy Bluffdale toward 2100 North, and southbound I-15 in Utah County. Very heavy between American Fork, State Street, and Orem. Steve.
Got a fresh crash on Redwood Road at 4 South right now in Salt Lake, plus northbound I-15 delays at 33rd South up to the North Interchange. More delays in Davis County in Centerville and Kaysville to Roy. You have delays on the West Belt as well. Northbound from California Avenue and southbound from 1700 North. And northbound 89 busy at SR 193 in Davis County. Is the IRS harassing you? Are tax problems ruining your life? Let Utah tax attorney Jordan Wilcox help. Visit taxhelput.com. That's taxhelput.com. Steve Carlson in the KSL Traffic Center.
Well, the overnight storm brought a little bit of rain, but it definitely brought the cool temperatures. Highs today have stopped in the low 70s, well below our normal of 86. Tonight, 52 for the low, 77 and sunny on Wednesday. Mid-80s return for Thursday, Friday under partly cloudy skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Kevin Eubank.
You're listening to Jeff Caplan's Afternoon News on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon. It's 5:30 at KSL. I'm Maria Shilaos, sitting in this week for Jeff Caplan. Sunny skies and 70 degrees downtown. KSL's top story this hour. Utah Attorney Sean Reyes is suing the EPA over a recently released federal rule governing power plants.
The Ozone Interstate Transport Rule requires that each state's power generation plans include ways to make up for emissions headed over the state line into a neighboring state. Utah leaders call it a power grab by the Biden administration that could lead to power plant closures and pose a risk to Utah's power system. Both state and federal elected officials from Utah expressed support for the lawsuit. Other states are also considering similar actions. Tom Harrelson, KSL News Radio.
Developing news on KSL, the Bible is headed back onto school shelves in the Davis School District. The district board voted unanimously today to allow the Bible in school libraries. It was pulled from elementary and junior high schools just a few weeks ago. Last week, legislative leaders questioned the policy that the Davis School District was using in reviewing books that were challenged by parents. Industries that rely on migrant labor are still struggling to find workers, even though it's been a month since Title 42 was lifted. KSL News Radio's Hugo Ricard-Bell sat down with Governor Spencer Cox and has the story.
Immigration needs to be a state-solved problem, according to Governor Spencer Cox.
I wrote an op-ed recently with the governor of Indiana supporting that idea that we should let every state decide in what types of industries and how many visas they need in those industries.
He says Utah has had a solution for some time now.
It's been 11 or 12 years since Utah passed our comprehensive immigration reform, which I think was groundbreaking. I think it's a model for the nation. And unfortunately, neither the Obama administration nor the Trump administration allowed us to implement that.
Hugo Ricard-Bell, KSL News Radio.
The Dixie Springs fire near Hurricane is now being mopped up. The 600-acre fire was threatening dozens of homes and structures. The BLM told KSL.com that they believe the fire was human-caused, but they didn't provide any more details. If you're planning on camping this week, it's more important than ever to make sure that your campfire is out. The gusty winds could increase fire danger by quickly picking up embers.
It's going to blow those embers miles away from where the actual fire started. So then you run the risk of fires that are torching and spotting ahead of the fire, and can't put firefighters on the ground in head of an active fire.
Fire prevention specialist Paula Imlay says the wind also dries out the environment, and with winds over 25 miles an hour and humidity below 20% in the southern half of the state, fire danger increases. Our top national story this hour. It's a race against time as crews try to find a small vessel with 5 passengers on board that was supposed to tour the wreckage of the Titanic. The people on board have enough oxygen until Thursday. ABC's Sam Sweeney says that there haven't been many ships that can reach it.
You have to get really advanced equipment out there and be able to salvage this submersible vehicle that could be as far as 13,400 feet below the surface there on the water. Very few pieces of equipment can do that. The U.S. Navy, even all of our NATO allies, don't have a submarine that can go that low.
The vessel was supposed to float back to the surface after any possible malfunction. I-95 repairs are speeding along. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro says the portion of interstate that collapsed in Philadelphia last week will